Coach Tommy, thank you so much for being here.
If you've never seen one of these TikTok gifts battles before, basically there's two creators and you send gifts to the respective creator that you're watching. This bar at the top indicates who has the most gifts, and when time runs out, whoever has the most gifts wins. Their prize? All of the gifts that they got during the battle. And then the second place person also wins all the gifts that they got during that battle. So needless to say, there's a lot at stake. This is a live stream where Jason is actually battling his wife, Naveen.
Why don't you come down in the room? I'll let you in. You can come back in the house now.
Yeah, come back in the house, man. You look like Batman standing over the city. Now, hang on. If they're married, aren't the gifts just going to both of them? What kind of charade is this? Now, at first I kind of assumed that most of the people watching these live streams were children. And I was like, ooh, that is super weird, just like asking children for money. You're basically just asking them to steal their parents' credit cards. In a way, I sort of thought of Jason Nash as like a babysitter, but he's also babysitting 1,000 other kids. And if you start choking, he's not gonna call 911 because he can't see you. But after tuning into a few of his streams and actually like clicking on some of the profiles of people watching, I realized that it's actually mostly adults, which was very surprising to me. Guys, what are we doing here? Stop that. I promise you there are like a billion other better uses for your money than helping Jason Nash's wife crush him in a gift battle. Fun as it may be. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I think that it's kind of a very interesting look at the career span of a creator. It's a pretty new career, all things considered, and like nobody's been a full-time online creator for 40 years, so we don't really know how long this career is supposed to last or how it will evolve over time. So I think it's worth looking at why Jason Nash is here. Between the years of 2016 and 2020, David Dobrik was seemingly at the top of the YouTube ecosystem. What started as David just sort of goofing around and filming his friends as up-and-coming content creators quickly turned into partying all the time, collabing with huge celebrities, huge giveaways, and giant sponsorship deals. And if you didn't watch the vlogs around this time, you might think that David was like the biggest part of them, but it was actually more his friends doing the heavy lifting. David was always behind the camera, and sure, he would laugh a lot, and you'd hear him laugh. But I really feel like the reason people tuned in was sort of to live vicariously through David and experience the goofiness that was all of his friends. So while all of the vlogs were on David's channel and David was inevitably the most popular member of the vlog squad, I really feel like he owes most of his success to his friend group. But it was a fun time. I watched a lot of the vlogs back in the day and I really enjoyed them. It felt like you were a part of this friend group. And in a lot of ways, you were like the members of the vlog squad, because like the members of the vlog squad, you also were not getting paid for your appearances in the videos, which is something that I always found kind of weird. David's friends never got any sort of payment. Their only payment was in exposure. And so what kind of ended up happening was, because everybody else around David wanted to launch their careers off of David's vlogs, they all started vlogging too. But because they would always be hanging out together, all of their vlogs seemed to be just like the same situation from a bunch of different angles, and everybody was holding vlog cameras. It got pretty out of hand for a while there. Eventually though, during the pandemic, a bunch of stuff happened that caused David to take a step back from vlogging. Mainly a bunch of scary accusations about one of his best friends, Dom, and also him almost killing one of his other best friends, Jeff Wittick, by slamming him into the side of an excavator. After losing a bunch of followers and probably more importantly a bunch of sponsors, David posted an apology saying he was gonna do better. He said he was gonna take steps to make sure his vlogs were a safer environment for the people in them.
And I want to be able to have a place of checks and balances. I want to have HR.
If he had to choose between quitting vlogging or doing it safer with an HR team, he was gonna do that. And then he quit vlogging. Currently, David is still presumably very rich. The only place he really posts is on Snapchat, and from what I can tell, he mostly just goes around and tours really expensive houses and parties a lot. He doesn't seem to have any ambitions of creating more content on YouTube. In a lot of ways, he's sort of like the Great Gatsby of social media now. But without David sort of manning the ship that was the vlog squad, a lot of the other members basically had to figure out other avenues and other ways to make money and maintain their following after the vlog ended. Zane and Heath have a pretty successful podcast now, so does Jeff Wittick. Carly and Aaron, I believe, have a podcast too. But I feel like Jason Nash, out of the entire group, is having the most trouble adjusting to the post-vlog era. He has a podcast, but it's definitely not getting the same numbers that his podcast with David did, views, back in the day, which David also quit. Despite them, I think, getting a bunch of really great offers that would have changed Jason's life, David decided to quit because he didn't want to do that anymore. He wanted wanted to be the Great Gatsby. So Jason has now been left to fend for himself, and it seems like TikTok gift streaming is what he has turned to.
You excited to go to dinner?
Man, this is content, baby. This is crazy. I didn't know all you had to do is just sit there and stare at your camera and people will just send you money. Why did I write this whole video? So a lot of the response has obviously been kind of cringing at this feeling that what he's doing now is very shady. And I mean, he's not really harming anybody, I guess. It does seem like it's mostly adults sending him money. Obviously, there's always going to be kids online stealing their parents' credit cards, so that's not great. I do get kind of a shady vibe from it just because there literally is no content for you to consume except to send him money. Like, the whole point of this stream is to see how much money Jason can make without having to do anything. That's like the point of the stream.
Melanie, thank you.
Let's go.
And you could argue that Twitch streaming has donations and, you know, a bunch of other live streaming does too. But I would argue that there's at least some content behind that. Someone's playing a video game or they're doing a podcast live and the donations are just a little bit extra on top. It's not the content itself. I've also seen a lot of people wondering like, wait, isn't David super generous? During his vlogs, he was always giving away cars. He was paying for people's weddings, just like handing out PlayStations to people on the street. Surely he could just help Jason if he's struggling financially, right? Wrong. From some of Jason's podcast clips, it seems that that is definitely not the case. But before we get to that, I've got to make some money of my own. Alright guys, let's get those gifts in. James, thank you for the llama. Carol, thank you for the sombrero. Brian sent a Arab? Oh. Is this a gift on TikTok Live? Also, how did you get this one? This one's mine. Well, regardless, this is actually pretty convenient because this video is sponsored by Arab. Arab flavors your water using scent-based taste. And, oh, Brian also sent a scent pod? Oh, thanks, man. Okay, so I can put that on. With the scent pod down like so, it's just a normal water bottle. But when I activate the scent pod, air is able to pass through the scent pod and into your mouth, where you can taste the scent. Send me money. I like to bust out my air up while I'm getting work done. It gives my water a little bit more which is what I need when I'm trying to focus. This one right here is lime, and it is excellent. Someone said, come to Brazil. I'm busy. Air up is a unique hydrating experience. You can't get this anywhere else, buddy. No chemicals, no sweeteners added to the water, just plain old water into my plain old mouth. The scent pods come in a variety of flavors. I really like the lime and the peach. My editor, Jake, is really fond of cherry. So no matter what kind of flavors you like, there's bound to be a couple for you. If you want to spice up your hydration experience, click the link in the description, get yourself an Air Up, get yourself some scent pods, put your mouth on the nozzle, and suck away. You look really tired today. That is mean. Thank you to Air Up for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out Air Up. Now back to the video. About a month ago when Jason was in the thick of his live streaming every day, he posted this podcast where he and a bunch of David's mutual friends talk about how different life is now that David's not vlogging anymore.
But the thing is, like, David's in this, like, moment in his life.
Yeah, where he can do anything.
Where he just parties.
Oh no, Jason, the look on your face, man. Jason's like, don't look bitter, don't look bitter, don't look bitter.
Where he can do anything.
Perfect. He can do whatever the fuck he wants now.
He calls me to play pool, and I'm like, I gotta go live, and I don't expect him to understand that.
You don't expect him to understand that you have to work to make money? You know he did that too, right? I wouldn't expect him to understand that, man. He hasn't had to work in, gosh, what is it, 2 years now? I hate to say it, Jason, I think he gets it. I just don't think he cares.
Like, I'll say things like, I'm losing my house, and he'll be like, oh, but just go play pool.
I just don't think he cares. Dude, Jason, haven't you learned anything from being friends with a popular YouTuber? You just told him you might lose your house, and he invites you over. You think he really wants to play pool? Dude, he's probably gonna Mr. Beast you. He's probably inviting you over so he can, like, surprise you with a new house. He might make you do Squid Games for it, but you have a chance to win a new house. Maybe he'll give you a new car. Or, you know, surprise you with his new car like he did that one time.
My surprise to you is that I'm buying myself a car.
I know, right?
That was cool. I will say it is interesting that David seemingly stopped doing the extravagant giveaways once he stopped doing the vlog. I wonder what the correlation there is. That's kind of weird.
There was a great TikTok that he sent, which was like some guy. It's just the guy that has like a lot of money and can do anything all day. He's like, "Oh, Diplo's having a party tonight," and like and it's literally like things that David has said.
David sent Jason a TikTok of a rich, out of touch guy being like, "Oh my god, dude, this is so me." Dude, look at this TikTok. This is so me. That moment when you're rich and you're partying with Diplo and you're talking about how much you hate Jason Nash and how poor Jason Nash is. Guys, comment below if you found this relatable.
But if you think about it, though, from 18 to like what, 23, 24.
Oh, he was hitting it hard.
He never drank. I don't think he ever drank. Even when we would visit him, we'd be up till like midnight just like watching the edits, just like,
wow, he worked hard for 5 years? Let the man party, dude. Please do not burden David's poor gentle soul with your financial woes. Just let the man play pool and play with him, for God's sake. I mean, look, I don't doubt that he worked hard. The dude posted 3 vlogs a week. I'm sure it was a lot of hard work, but you know who also worked hard? Everybody in his vlogs. I mean, that dude just said it himself. They all stayed up with him until midnight watching the edits to make sure they were good. This was a group endeavor. And I know what people say. They say like, well, David gave them the opportunities, you know? He didn't have to make them famous. Yeah, he kind of did. That was like the whole point of his vlogs, was his friends. David wasn't just making them famous because he was a good, generous guy. He was doing it because that's what was working. They made him famous as much as he made them famous.
Now it's like the complete opposite. Everyone's like working, and here's him just like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And it's like a Tuesday night. Everyone's working.
Yeah, man, that is kind of a crazy switch. Whereas before, David was working and everyone was helping him. Now everyone else is working, so naturally David is partying with Diplo. Naturally, a lot of the conversation around Jason's live streams has revolved around the confusion as to why he wouldn't just get like a normal job if he was strapped for cash, or if like the social media thing wasn't working out.
Can someone make Jason Nash a fucking DoorDash account?
People are wondering, why is he pursuing this career that is like universally seen as embarrassing or cringe, rather than just getting a 9-to-5? And I totally get that criticism, because I do love being a creator. I love getting to be my own boss. I love being creative on a daily basis, working with people that I'm really inspired by, entertaining people. But if this exact version of being a creator stopped being feasible, would I start doing gift streams on TikTok? Hell no. And not even necessarily because it's like embarrassing or cringe. It's just that like what I enjoy about being a creator, that does not accomplish. There's no being creative. There's no entertaining people. At a certain point, you like strip out all of the fun parts of the career and you just have only the most superficial parts of it left. Just money and fame. So no, if like this YouTube channel didn't work out anymore, there's a billion other things I would rather do that would be more enticing to me than like gift streaming on Twitch. But maybe Jason likes it. He doesn't look like he does, but maybe he does. On the other hand, I could say that Jason is also older. He's lived a lot more life, he's had a lot more experience, and his career in the entertainment industry has gone through a lot more ups and downs than mine has. From what I can tell, Jason has been a stand-up comedian, he's been in TV shows, he's been a podcaster, a Viner, and a Vlog Squad member, and now a TikTok live gift battler. Between all of those seasons of his life, I'm sure there was downtime where he could have thought, oh, maybe this isn't for me, I'm gonna get up and go get a normal job. And then, lo and behold, the next opportunity comes along. So in some sense, I do understand if Jason's mentality is like, maybe I'm just gonna do this for a little while until I get my next thing off the ground.
And I know that when I started Vine, people said the same thing to me. They're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing Vine? You know, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then I did YouTube, and people are like, why are you doing YouTube? And I feel like when you're first to something, that can really pan out.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying, but also I don't know if this is the same as Vine and YouTube. Saying he's the first to this new thing like TikTok gift battling is gonna be the next big thing is very worrying to me. Please don't make that the next big thing, guys. On top of all that, there is this sort of like gamification in your head that happens when you're a content creator. Because so much of it is like numbers based, you're always looking at your analytics, hoping your numbers go up. It becomes kind of a game in your head to see if you can do better than you did last month or last year. Because of that, I feel like in a lot of content creators' heads, quitting or pursuing a different career path is seen as like losing the game, even if it's subconscious. That being said, I don't think that's a healthy way to look at it, and I would encourage people who are pursuing being a creator to find other passions that, you know, if this didn't work out, you could pursue that instead, because I think just clinging to relevancy for relevancy's sake is not a good thing. But why try to guess what Jason's thinking when someone literally asked him on his own podcast why he doesn't just get a job?
This
Right.
isn't me saying this as a negative thing.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
just
no,
totally
address it.
asking.
Please.
Yeah.
Why don't I get a real job?
No, I know why you do it.
Yeah.
But like,
No, man, I know why you do it. It's pretty clear to me. But, could you tell everyone else why you do this?
Someone said that the other day. Why don't you get into real estate? I'm like,
I hate it.
I don't have a real estate license.
Bo Granny?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You have to be born with a real estate license to do real estate. But darn, Jason Nash was born with a TikTok account, so he has to do that instead.
Right. Now look, would I be on TikTok Live if I wasn't in like a financial hole? I don't know, probably not. But also like YouTube wasn't really working, and I needed to find something. OnlyFans. I can't do OnlyFans.
This is such an unrelatable thought process to most people. YouTube is not working out for him, and his first thought is OnlyFans? TikTok begging people for money? It just comes off as being so set on being an influencer that nothing else matters to this guy.
Listen, it is what it is. It's like I was on Vine, I was on YouTube, I was on Snapchat, and now I'm doing this.
Don't say it like that.
Now I'm doing this.
I mean, I do like it.
No, man, I don't think you do. Not after that. We all saw that. So anyway, it is what it is, and I have to do it because I love it, and it's my favorite thing. Phew, that was close. Hey, we can hear you. What? You said that was close out loud. Oh no!
Do you ever think about going
to DoorDash
or to like a? I just never thought it's it's entertainment or nothing. I don't care what it is. Like,
what would you suggest I do?
No. It's just that
Let me get a job at Lululemon.
From what I can gather from this clip and the way they're laughing about the prospect of being a DoorDash driver or working at Lululemon, those jobs are not even on the table for Jason. I don't know his personal finances, but Jason lives in LA, he owns a house, he has kids, he has a wife. So I feel like when he's saying things like, I don't have any other skills, what he's really saying is, I don't have any other skills that would allow me to live the exact same life that I'm currently living. And honestly, I could understand if he really does like the TikTok live streaming thing, but don't laugh at other jobs like Lululemon or DoorDash like you're so above doing them, yet you're on TikTok literally asking people for money. And I do totally get that Jason has kids that he has to support, that I'm totally empathetic to that situation. It is kind of ironic that his solution to that is to ask other people's kids for money online, but that's neither here nor there. This whole situation kind of reminds me of this TikTok I saw about a month ago. My Roman Empire is all of those influencers who dropped out of college or quit their jobs, moved to LA, then became irrelevant. Like, where did they go? What are they doing now? One interesting thing that I don't know if a lot of people know is that I feel like a lot of creators who get into this situation can actually leverage some of the connections they make while they're relevant and some of the skills that they've learned to get jobs at like marketing agencies, talent agencies, social media companies, or working for other creators behind the scenes. There's actually a lot of opportunities out there, which I would know because my first job out of college was working for a YouTube MCN. While I was still on Vine, I graduated college and I was worried that that wasn't going to be a stable career, so I actually got a job working at an MCN. And then I also worked at the YouTube channel Corridor for a while before my YouTube channel took off. So just throwing that out there, there are other career opportunities where you get to be involved in the creator space, even writing or acting, stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be your operation. You can just get a stable job. All right, it's time to talk about David again. While everyone was making fun of Jason for doing the TikTok live streaming thing, David paid him a visit on Snapchat.
Dude, you're kind of becoming a legend on TikTok now.
I know. Not in a good way.
Yeah, but I think it's fun.
No, man, this is a great look. This is awesome. Multi-millionaire visits former unpaid employee wearing a crown to make fun of his new job. David, do you know why, perchance, Jason has to do the TikTok live streaming? Have you thought about that at all? During your long nights of playing pool?
Bye, guys. Thanks for having us over in your little hobbit home.
And make fun of his house before you leave? Check. Great job. Now, with all of this talk about David and Jason, I just want to make it clear, do not go and send any hate to these people in real life, especially Jason. Jason actually got swatted mid-live during one of his streams a few weeks ago, which is obviously horrible.
Anybody else inside? No. Okay, hold on. Let's get put together and then... Yeah.
This is obviously a horrible situation, actually terrifying. But I cannot help but break a little smile when I look over and the two people he's gift battling are the Dobre brothers. I don't think there's a single funnier sight than watching the two of these blankly stare into the camera not understanding what's going on. Also, imagine your gift battle opponent getting swatted and he's still crushing you, dude. That's gotta hurt. My big takeaway from all of this is if you are pursuing being a content creator, I would heavily recommend being super careful about the way you go about it. I would highly recommend not letting your success be at all related to the success of another influencer. You don't want to be the guy from David's vlogs when David stops the vlogs. Also, save your money. This career that we have, we don't know how long it's gonna last. I mean, I sort of view it as being any other type of entertainer. You're only relevant for so long, or like an athlete or something. You can only be in your prime for a certain amount of time, so save as much as you can. It's really easy to get caught up in the lifestyle of an influencer and like partying all the time and flying on private jets, buying expensive cars. And if you can make this career last for like 20 to 30 years, that's awesome. That's insane, but it's definitely not guaranteed. So just be careful, all right? For me, for your old pal Dan. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. Greg is what I call my fans here on YouTube, and if you just watch this whole video, that means you kinda gotta be a Greg now. I don't make the rules, sorry. Except for that rule I actually did make, but all the other rules I don't make. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. What's up, Greg? Lately, I've been seeing a lot of discourse around alpha male podcasts on YouTube. I've seen a lot of really good commentary videos talking about these insanely misogynistic podcasts where the hosts, under the ruse of giving dating advice for men, will basically just insult women for an hour straight. Guys, here at the Fit Wolf podcast, we know that the dating game is tough these days, you know? Men don't know what women want and are finding it harder and harder to find a good girl to settle down with. So tip number one to finding a good girl is invent a time machine. Invent a time machine and go back to the 1750s, because that's the only way you're gonna find a decent woman. Because every woman nowadays is a thought. That's right. Every single Michelle out there that I used to date a month ago is a thought. They get mad at the dumbest things, like saying that women have no inherent value and their only purpose on this earth is to bear my children. And they forget to turn off location sharing even though they broke up with me a month ago. Michelle, I know you're over at my friend Brandon's house right now.
I'm outside.
But I think I might have found something that takes things one step further. I saw this video on Reddit the other day that's a trailer for something called The War Room. And instead of being a podcast for these like alpha male, misogynist, entrepreneur type guys, this is a club for those same types of guys.
After I joined the War Room, that was the year I made $100,000.
On the surface, this kind of just seems like a trailer for a club where you get to hang out with a bunch of bald guys and smoke cigars and talk about business and making money.
1 year ago, I did not even have a business. I didn't make money. Now I make 5 figures every month.
I didn't have a business. I didn't make money. I didn't even want to start a business before I was forced to join the War Room at gunpoint a year ago. But now, I have a business where I'm selling fitness products to all of my friends. And if I get them to sign up too, and their friends to sign up too, and their friends to sign up too, I could be making minimum wage. But if you watch a little bit longer and you look a little bit closer, there's more here than meets the eye. For example, quotes like these.
Making money is easy. You just take it from somebody.
Doesn't sound like making money. That just sounds like stealing.
In the War Room, you learn how to be James Bond, or you can just pick up any weapon.
I'm sorry, I think I'm struggling to see the connection between business and knowing how to use any weapon. Is the War Room an actual militia? I was just assuming the war in War Room was just for branding because men like violence, but now I'm kind of scared. It keeps cutting back and forth to like shots of them shooting guns. I'm a little worried about making this video, honestly. Usually when I make commentary videos, the biggest thing I have to worry about is getting a copyright strike, but now I'm worried about getting a drone strike. A lot of times, like, the alpha male types will use metaphors like talking about how we're like wolves, or like how love is like a war. So I assume this is like a metaphor, like business is like war and dating is like war. But the War Room is like war is like war. Get your gun, dude. We attack at dawn.
A lot of people had a bad time in college. I was not one of them.
and I created a lot of that.
Did that guy just shoot fire out of his hands? What does that have to do with any of the skills you learn in this club? I didn't know anything about business before I joined the War Room, but I've been a member for 5 months and now I'm a wizard. How does being a wizard help you with business in any way? Does being magic help you organize your finances in some way? Who said anything about business? You did. That's what this club is about, isn't it? That's it. This interview's over. Okay, I'll stop. Give me money. Give me money now. Definitely makes me want to join. You got dudes shooting guns, swimming, doing group exercises on a hilltop, watching other people gamble, smoking cigars. It kind of just seems like one super long bachelor party for men whose wives have already left them. And then at the end of the video, it gives you the URL to sign up. It says 54 countries, 1,000 members, and resist slavery. That's the last thing it says in the whole video. It says resist slavery, and then the video ends. And it's like, yeah, I will. I am. So I keep saying this club is about business because that's kind of what the trailer was implying. It's about like networking with all of these rich, influential people, making money, stealing it from people, using your magical powers to steal money from innocent civilians. But if you go to their website, there's not really any reference to business, which is confusing. And the description on their website says this: the War Room is a global network in which exemplars of individualism work to free the modern man from socially induced incarceration. Okay, but like, what do you guys do? Like, if I join, what do I get to do? I get you're gonna free me from socially induced incarceration, but what does freedom look like to you guys? Is it like, am I quitting my job to go to a cigar pool party? This package costs £4,000, and they have packages on their website that go up to £7,997. Do any of these guys not see the irony and being like, individualism rules, dude. Society is like jail. If you conform to society, that's like being in prison, basically. You're basically a slave at that point, while also being like, yeah, I paid $7,000 to join a club where everyone looks and dresses like me. I didn't want to be a stereotype, okay? So I joined a man club to smoke cigars and shoot guns. And that's sort of what makes me an individualist. It just feels like they're kind of playing the like, I'm not like other guys card. And I guess in some sense they're not like other guys because most guys can't bend the elements to their will like that one guy. But other than that, I mean, it's just like all the pictures are just guys hanging out in dimly lit clubs, doing military style drills. I don't know what's going on here. In case you're not sold yet and you haven't been convinced to join, let me read you a little bit more because the War Room's website uses like every cliche pickup artist tactic to try to get you to join this club. We got the classic negging. What can you bring to the War Room? Truthfully, very little. Probably nothing at all. You are not ready for the War Room. You will not revolutionize what we built. If you had the capabilities we required, you would already be inside. What? They think I can't bring anything to the War Room? They think I'm some kind of sucker who doesn't have my life in order and can't manage my money. I'll show them. I'm gonna take out a 4th mortgage on my home and I'm gonna join this club. We'll see how stupid they think I am then. They also use like the get it while you still can technique that's in like every as seen on TV commercial. This chance won't last forever. We will not hold this open for everyone. Soon, membership will close. The War Room members and their sons will remain the closed wielders of global influence into eternity. Holy shit, dude. They're closing submission soon? I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go. I'm not doing this for me, okay? I'm doing this for my son. I guess my son gets to be in the club too if I join. I gotta go. Now, I don't have any way to look and see how long it said this on the website, but if I had to guess, I would guess that it's been on there as long as this website has existed. Why would they close submissions? How does that make any sense? Do they want to stop making money? The founder of this club is like, whoa, I'm too rich, all right? That's one thing we teach in the War Room is you can't have too much money. I mean, if this is like a militia, do they have enough soldiers? Is that why they're closing? Soon, 1,000 bald men wearing tightly fitting t-shirts will be storming the beaches. We can't wait around for you forever. So you might be wondering who the head of this club is, right? It must be someone like very rich and influential if he's expecting to get people to join just based on like the connections that you can get from the club, right? Well, this is where things get a lot more creepy. And also not monetizable. This is the part that is the reason this video probably doesn't have ads on it. My name is Andrew Tate. I'm a retired 4-time world champion kickboxer who is now a multimillionaire, and I'm the most competent person on the entire planet to teach you about male-female interactions. How did I become rich? Webcam. Definitely gonna need him to elaborate on that a little bit. That's so vague. Mr. Bezos, please. You're the richest person in the world. Do you have any advice to young up-and-coming entrepreneurs on how to start a business and how to get rich like you? Book. Huh? Book. Need I say more? Yes. Yes, please say more. We literally have no idea what you're talking about. So you're probably thinking like, did this guy invent webcams or something? Is he like famous on Twitch or something? Is this Sapnap? I don't know. I've been running a webcam studio for nearly a decade. I've had over 75 girls work for me, and my business model is different than 99% of webcam studio owners. If you had to guess whether it's different because it's more creepy or less creepy than other webcam studios, what would you guess? Go ahead and vote down in the comments below, guys. Do you think this is gonna be creepy or no? Over 50% of my employees were actually my girlfriend at the time, and of all my girlfriends, none were in the adult entertainment industry before they met me. My job was to get women to fall in love with me. Literally, that was my job. My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say. Holy shit, this is insane. And then he gets them to join his webcam empire where he gets them to do, you know, he gets them to get nasty on camera. I'm not a lawyer, but does this not... Does this not feel illegal? At the very least, this seems like insanely creepy. This feels abusive. It feels like he's just confessing to crimes. That's why I want you to join the war room, all right? You're gonna learn about making money, picking up women. You're gonna form a militia to protect me from an international tribunal for my many crimes that break international law. For legal reasons, that was a joke, okay? I don't know if this is legal or not. So I guess what he meant when he just said the word webcam was that he's exploiting a ton of women online for his own personal gain. In hindsight, it seems so obvious. How did I not guess that? Let's watch another promotional video for the War Room. This is on Andrew Tate's YouTube channel, and it's called The Matrix Predicted the Great Reset Explained. Basically, it's a video where this guy compares his life to the Matrix.
We are living inside of the Matrix, and I am Morpheus. I know you're sitting thinking, why did Tate not decide he was Neo? Because Tate has all the Aikido and the masterful, nearly superhuman abilities.
Yeah, I used to be a kickboxer, so I'm basically in the Matrix. Actually, the reason I take the War Room guys to the gun range so much is so they can shoot at me and I can dodge the bullets like Neo. It's like, okay, dude, if anyone here has superpowers in the War Room, we know who it is. And it is not you.
Now, when I say we're living inside the Matrix, I'm not stating that with irony or as a joke. We are genuinely, actually living inside of the Matrix. The Matrix is real.
Yeah, something tells me that even though he keeps saying literally, and this is not a metaphor, that it is a metaphor. Something tells me he's not literally saying that we're living in a computer simulation that's controlled by, like, aliens or whatever the Matrix is about. I actually haven't seen the Matrix. I think that's what it's about. Something tells me that's not the point that this guy is making, even though he keeps saying literally. In the description of this video, it says, stage 1 fighting against the Matrix is to become rich. Learn how here. I'm sorry, that's the first step? You know it's gonna be an unhelpful article when step 1 is become rich? Like, step 1 is something that takes years, and some people will never do it. Also, again, I haven't seen The Matrix, but I'm fairly certain that was not the first step in breaking out. I don't think Morpheus was like, listen, machines are trapping humans and using them as batteries in their simulation, and the only way we can break out is by setting up a dropshipping business and investing in Ethereum. Ethereum's actually great because you can verify smart contracts. It's actually the best crypto out there. Imagine if this dude is right and we really are living in the Matrix. Like, what does being free look like? Oh my God. I did it. I'm free. I made it out. All right. Hey guys, we got another one. All right. Welcome to the club, buddy. Hell yeah. Congratulations, man. Yep. You finally made it out of the simulation. Wow. Thank you guys so much. Where's everybody else at? What do you mean everybody else? Yeah, the only other person here is my girlfriend who I'm scamming. Or I mean dating. Yeah, but I mean like in the whole world. Like there's gotta be more than just you guys in the real world, right? What the fuck? You don't like us? No, it's not like that. I mean, sorry. I was picturing there being more than just like 3 normal guys in a room when I exited the Matrix. Normal? What the hell, man? Yeah, we're not normal. We shoot guns and make money out here. Yeah, we're big into making cash out here, man. Did they do that in the Matrix? They actually do, yeah. Not the way we do it. Okay, how do you do it? Hey, you're stealing my shit! Okay, I'm just saying, all things considered, you guys don't really seem that different. Honestly, if anything, this seems more like a simulation than the world I was just in. How so? Look at you guys. You're all holding guns. All you do is talk about business. You guys are like NPCs from GTA. You all look like slight variations of the same sim. Are you guys sure this isn't a video game? All right, man, as if I'm gonna take advice from a beta-ass bitch like you anyway. I'm just saying. Okay, that was actually sick. You guys should have led with that. How was that not the first thing you guys wanted to show me? You know what, man? Get out of here. You don't belong here anyway. Yeah! What? Go! Get out of here. We don't want you. Yeah. Okay, all right, I'll go. Honestly, I'm actually not really sure how to get back, but if one of you show me, I will go. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get lost. Get son of a go. What are you still doing? Get out of here. Go. I feel like this is definitely a video game.
How can I keep my husband? I want to keep him happy. And I think all the women listening too, they want to know the secret.
I'll tell you the secrets. Men are biologically designed. We're evolutionarily hardwired to seek status. You want power, you want status, you want the fast car. You don't care about the car. You want everyone to know you have the car and they can't have the car. Right. If everyone had a Lambo, you wouldn't want a Lambo. So every single thing we do is status driven to some degree.
It's true.
Meaning the female we are with has to add status to our lives in some form. If you want to keep your man happy, you need to think, how do I make my man look better to the world? How do I make him look better in front of other men?
What a bizarre take, dude. How to be a good woman? Make your man look good to other men. You basically need to be a wingman for your husband to pick up dudes. I hate arguments like this so much. Alpha dudes are always trying to bring up like what men are hardwired to do. What have men been evolutionarily designed to do? Here he's saying that like men are hardwired to seek status. Men want a Lamborghini. You know how every man want a Lamborghini because it's a status symbol. Even if it worked out that like evolutionarily that's something that is in men's nature, that doesn't make it good. You know what else is in our nature? Thinking sugar tastes really good. If you didn't tell someone that sugar was bad for you, they would think like, oh my god, this is the best thing in the world because it tastes really good. If you put 10 pounds of candy in front of a caveman, he would eat all of it and then he would throw up. And then he would die, probably, because he's never eaten that much sugar before. But hey, I guess that's just kind of what he was hardwired to do. So if you want to be a good cave wife, you gotta go out there and you gotta get your man as much candy as you can find. You want to go to the store and buy him one of those lollipops that's as big as his head that he always wanted when he was a kid, but his mom would never let him have. And that's the only way to keep men happy, all right? These alpha male type guys are always trying to sound like scientific. Like this is the science-backed way to attract a mate. And this is the evolutionary way that relationships are supposed to be. But I feel like if they were being honest, they would recognize that there's a difference between what humans like naturally are inclined to do and what is healthy and what is sustainable. You know what else increases your status? Murder. Can't be anyone higher up on the hierarchy if they're all dead, right? It's weird. I don't see any of them advocating that, but it's the same primal instinct that they're talking about, so why don't they? To prove what a sick and cool lifestyle this guy has, here is a video that he posted on Christmas while apparently alone in a hotel room.
Merry Christmas. I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about me. They look at me and they go, you hear about that Tate guy, you know, he's a 4-time kickboxing world champion, he's tall, he's strong, he's smart. He's fucking gorgeous.
That's the wrong idea? People have the wrong idea about me. He's smart, he's rich, he's tall, he's funny. When in actuality, I am short, rude, and poor. Anyway, yeah, that's the war room. I feel like this video took a lot of twists and turns, but as I kept clicking on different links on this dude's website, I just kept getting more and more shocked at what I was finding. So hopefully this was an entertaining video. I was considering purchasing like a war room membership as part of a follow-up video, but I honestly do not feel good about putting any money in this guy's pockets. I'm honestly a little bit worried that if I paid this guy 7,000 pounds, it would go towards like more guns or like a prison cell for his employees. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and now it's time to talk about our sponsor. Guys, you know what you're probably not gonna get if you spend $5,000 to hang out with the guys from the war room? Delicious home-cooked meals, which is why I thoroughly believe that today's sponsor, HelloFresh, is a much better investment than the war room. HelloFresh has been a longtime sponsor of the channel, and I love their service. Every week, they send you 3 delicious meals that you get to cook at home with all of the ingredients pre-portioned, so you can skip all of the prepping and planning and going to the grocery store that, if you're like me, stresses you out about dinner time. HelloFresh is equipped to be able to serve a bunch of different lifestyles. With fit and wholesome recipes and low calories or carbs, you can indulge in delicious meals without having to worry about breaking your diet. My favorite things about HelloFresh are that 1, I only know how to cook a handful of things, and HelloFresh has a huge variety of recipes. Like every week you get to choose from something different. And 2, they're a super sustainable option. The packaging that they send you your food in is already recycled content, and HelloFresh cuts down on your food waste by 25% over grocery shopping. Cooking with HelloFresh is fun and honestly super easy. Anybody can follow the instructions and it'll kind of make you feel like a chef. So if you want to check out HelloFresh, then go to HelloFresh.com trulygreg.com and use my code trulygreg16 to get 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. I don't know what the surprise gifts are, but if it's anything like their food, I'd say it's worth it. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for supporting my channel by checking out HelloFresh. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. Croc, 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 croc. What's up, Greg, and welcome back to another episode of Croc. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you may remember me making a video about the movie Standing Ovation like 5 years ago. And you might think that that movie should have nothing to do with the movie we're going to be watching today, Croc. Because, well, Standing Ovation is about a ragtag group of girls competing in a singing and dancing competition, while Croc is about a man-eating crocodile brutally murdering dozens of people. Come to think of it, in Standing Ovation, I don't think even one person is brutally murdered by a crocodile, but the movies are related nonetheless, because they were both directed by this man, Stuart Raffill. Stuart directed Standing Ovation, he directed Croc, he directed another movie called Bad Girl Island, which I'm very curious about, and he also coincidentally directed Mac and Me, that E.T. ripoff from the 80s that Drew has talked about on his channel, and also Paul Rudd always used to bring a clip of on Conan. This man has a prolific career of creating low-budget films that leave you questioning if what you just watched could even be considered a movie. And it's no different. All right, man, what was your strategy here? What are you doing? Why are you even in that position? That's not gonna help you get away. Maybe if I just pretend I'm already dead, he won't be mad at me anymore. Maybe he'll feel guilty. And then he won't want to eat my whole head. Oh no, he ate my whole head! Now I know what you guys want. You just want me to go through and show you all the scenes where somebody gets eaten by the crocodile. You know how I know that? Because this whole movie is on YouTube and all of the most rewatched parts are the parts where somebody gets eaten by the crocodile. But first, the movie has to introduce all the characters and set up the plot and the story. Blah. But hey, at least the plot of this movie probably mostly revolves around the crocodile, right? Oh, no, don't worry. That crocodile doesn't want to eat you. He wants to sleep with you. But unfortunately, she's mine, so back off! Does that make you feel better? She's not having it, but don't worry, Jack's not getting his farm shut down. He's the main character of this story. He knows how to treat his animals. He's a good old American boy. USA! USA!
He's a pretty rich guy, yeah?
That line is my favorite line in the whole movie. The inflection is so strange.
He's a pretty rich guy, yeah?
What? Don't worry, kind stranger, as we've grown quite fond of your nephew over these past, 12 seconds. So naturally, we've decided to help you commit arson to escape the police. Time to skip town, right? Now that the police, animal welfare, tax enforcement, and this construction company are all after him. Nope, he just goes back to work like nothing happened. But not before someone else gets killed by a crocodile. Also, not before we talk about today's sponsor, Rocket Money. I signed up for Paramount Plus so I could watch old seasons of Survivor, but unfortunately, the experience of using Paramount Plus is so bad that I never use it. I don't know if it's just the app on my TV specifically, but episodes of that show used to be shot in a 4:3 aspect ratio, but Paramount Plus stretches it out to widescreen. Meanwhile, all of the ads, which are shot in widescreen, for some reason are squished down to 4:3. Also, pausing doesn't work. It actually took me like days to even sign up for Paramount Plus. I don't know why. I tried on every device and they just didn't want my money for some reason. That being said, I am very happy that Rocket Money is sponsoring today's video because it gives me a good excuse to complain about Paramount Plus. I stopped using it a while ago but forgot to cancel the subscription, which is why Rocket Money comes in handy. Rocket Money safely and securely identifies recurring charges and lets you cancel those subscriptions with just a couple of clicks in the app. You don't need to worry about pesky customer service calls. You don't need to worry about Jeff Probst coming to your house to ask you why you're canceling your subscription. It just works. Rocket Money also has some great budgeting tools. You can monitor your spending by category, create budgets so you can get the most out of your money, and develop good saving habits. Rocket Money has helped save customers up to $740 a year when they use all the features, with over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. So to save more and spend less, join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. Go to rocketmoney.com/Danny or click the link in the description to get started with Rocket Money for free. And you can also unlock even more features with premium. That's rocketmoney.com/Danny to get started for free. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out Rocket Money. Now back to the video. After the whole escaping from the police incident, 2 of those teens from the bar decide to go make out in the ocean.
This is great.
They're smooching, they're making out. The boy goes underwater to I actually don't know what he was planning on doing down there. It kind of looks like he's going to suck on her toes. But you know who that attracts? The Croc! The Croc said, hold on. If anybody's sucking on anybody's toes around here, you better believe it's gonna be the most sexually aggressive reptile. So he eats the boy, and then he eats the girl, all while this lone, terrified girl watches on in horror. I love how casually she rides away. She is in no rush. Ah, a killer croc! I gotta go get help! But I shouldn't go too fast. I gotta focus on me. I gotta take care of myself first.
My sister here saw a young girl get attacked by a crocodile.
Are you sure? Yeah, no, good call. No need to give any credence to the girl who literally saw them get eaten by an alligator. Yeah, she was probably just making it up. She probably just wanted attention. She's like curled up in a corner, traumatized somewhere, and they're just like, stop lying! There's no such thing as alligators, you idiot! You killed them, didn't you? During this scene, there's a mysterious man just kind of lurking on the sidelines of the investigation. He's not part of the police. He's just there. And he's mysterious, but it seems like he might have a hunch. And then suddenly the police pull a leg out of the water. We assumed so. You're a police officer, and you pulled up with like 15 other police officers. I know what it looks like, but no strip club tonight, Jack. Yeah, I know. People are dying. I'm here on official business. Unless... No, dude, we have to catch this crocodile before it kills again. Right. Yes, exactly. But what if it's at the strip club? Yo! So the girl that Theo was flirting with at the bar is having a funeral for her cousin. And since everyone thinks it was Jack's crocodile that ate the cousin, they are not very happy when he shows up. He's asking, are you okay and what's wrong when everybody doesn't want to talk to him? Dude, somebody died. What's going on? Why is everyone so sad? Hey, where's your cousin? The ugly one. And why'd you even ask if you weren't gonna care what he said? He gave you the worst answer you could possibly hear while your kids are in the water and you were still like, yeah, I don't care. But look, we know from earlier that sure, this movie is violent, but they would never actually show a child getting murdered by a crocodile. No! Basically just the really dumb, slow ones. One thing that really surprised me about this movie is how overwhelmingly positive all of the comments on YouTube are. This movie is super boring, the acting is really bad, there are long periods of seemingly pointless plot development, and yet the YouTube comments seem to love it. But they are pretty much exclusively all about how pretty the scenery in Thailand is and not about the movie or the plot at all. So I guess that makes sense. Great movie, well filmed, nice locations, beautiful filming. Never thought Thailand was so perfect a paradise. Thanks so much. Yeah, well, it's not that perfect if people keep getting eaten by alligators, is it? Great movie with beautiful scenery. Thanks. Do these people think that the director invented Thailand? Because he didn't. It's been around for a while and you can go there. So they find the croc and they kill it. It's honestly pretty unsatisfying. I don't know what I was expecting, for them to like pull off the mask of the alligator and it was the tax investigator all along. But I was hoping for some kind of closure as to like why this happened outside of two fishermen woke him up with a bomb. The ending of this movie is very somber. They're all just kind of traumatized on their little boat until Jack's sister asks Croc if the crocodile ate his leg. I forgot to mention, Croc only has one leg. I don't know if you've noticed that. And so you just assume, oh, he must be hunting the croc because the croc ate his leg. And Croc says, good. I was hoping this movie would end like an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Well guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. What's going on with hypnotism? On one hand, I've heard it's real, and I've seen some incredible videos of people like forgetting their own names under hypnosis.
What's your name?
But on the other hand, if it is real, I feel like we're all very nonchalant about that fact. Like, there are just people out there that can take over your mind for a little bit. How does that work? I especially want to know, what's it like to be the person getting hypnotized? Give me an interview with the person who just forgot their own name. What happened to you? Anyways, I'm gonna try to get hypnotized like 3 different ways to find out if hypnosis is real and what it feels like. Y'all wanna come? Good, because I actually already did the first one. I found this YouTube video called Can I Hypnotize You in 30 Seconds? And I thought that sounds quick to do. So I just did it right before I filmed this intro.
Have you ever wondered, could I be hypnotized? Am I the sort of person that's susceptible to mind control? Well, it's not mind control, it's just thinking about things. And sometimes the things we think about are the things that happen. So if you want to try something, all you need to do is get your hands, put your hands together like this, and clasp them together like that. Now take your index fingers and put them parallel, and just focus your eyes on that gap between the two fingers. Just focus your eyes really strongly on the gap, and as you do that, imagine that the ends of your fingers are like magnets, and the magnets are getting stronger and stronger with every second, and the more that you imagine that the magnets are pulling your fingers together, the stronger they become until your fingers can get closer and closer. And if they are moving, if they're closing together,
that's weird.
That can show you how susceptible you are. If they're not moving, maybe that's because you're trying really hard to make it not.
No, they're already together.
Keep imagining that those magnets are pulling them together.
They already are together. All right, well, I guess that worked. I don't know, is that hypnotism? Is that what hypnotism is? It kind of just felt like my fingers just wanted to be together, like when you hold them like this, they naturally do that. Do they just naturally do that? No, I guess I can hold them like this just fine. Okay, well, dang, maybe I got hypnotized that quick. The second type of hypnosis is hypnotherapy. I always kind of just assumed hypnosis was fake until I talked to a family member who said they got hypnotized to stop smoking. But apparently there are hypnotherapists all over the place who are more than happy to hypnotize you for a wide variety of things, like addiction, phobias, throat lump issues. Bad karma won't go away. These are real ones from actual hypnotherapist websites. As for myself, I'm hoping to get hypnotized to cure my lifelong battle with my nails. I've bitten my nails as long as I can remember. I hate it. Laura hates it. I bite my nails so much I chip my tooth. So hopefully this guy can fix it, or at least replace it with like a healthier habit like smoking. I really want this to work, so I've intentionally like not looked up much about hypnotherapy, because my instincts tell me it's one of those things that you have to like fully buy into, and I don't want to read something that makes me doubt it. So the only thing I know right now is that I'm going to be paying $450 over 2 sessions to get hypnotized via Zoom. Okay, so for privacy reasons, I can't actually show the hypnotist in the video or play his voice, but I'm gonna describe the best I can what happened in this call. To my surprise, he kind of spent the first few minutes just giving me basic nail biting advice that has nothing to do with hypnosis. He recommended I get a nail file, pick 1 day a week that's my nail care day. He also said I should meditate because that would help with stress and reduce my nail biting on its own. And he taught me a self-hypnosis that I can do anytime I feel the urge to bite my nails from here on out. And then the last thing he told me before he started hypnotizing was that he highly recommends I listen to the recording of our hypnosis session every night before I go to sleep. And with that, it was time to be hypnotized. For this portion, he actually hung up the Zoom call and then called me on a regular phone call. I don't know if he just like didn't want the visual distraction of him on the screen, or if he wanted to like put on pajamas or something. He started by trying to get me as relaxed as possible, focusing on different areas of my body from head to toe and imagining that they were getting heavier and heavier to the point where my body felt like it was sinking into the couch. And I'm guessing this is the point where I'm supposed to be like fully in a hypnotic state, because from here on out, he basically tells me this kind of inspirational, energizing story that's gonna change my mindset around my nails. I followed his instructions, imagining my body dematerializing an array of light that shines around me, protecting my teeth and my nails. And I rode the ray of light to a peaceful beach, where I laid with a different version of myself lying on either side of me. On my left was the version of myself who bites my nails. On the right was a calm, cool, and confident version of myself with absolutely pristine nails. This was all a very peaceful and relaxing experience. I never did worry that somebody else had control over my mind, but I did have doubts as to whether I was really being hypnotized. It was a pretty long time that my eyes were closed, and I had a hard time paying attention for that long, so I'd catch myself thinking about other stuff, and then I'd be like, oh no, this is gonna ruin the hypnotism. And there were a few times the hypnotist did this alarming thing where he would just whisper a command like this. He'd be like, and now you're going to stop biting your nails. Anyway, all I had to do from here was I'm fucking cured, man. That night, I tucked myself into bed and listened to the hypnosis recording as instructed, which did feel a little silly given that the session had only ended like 30 minutes ago, but hey, maybe getting hypnotized back to back will make the effects even stronger. Again, I did feel very relaxed during this recording, but I still didn't know if I could say I was hypnotized. Good night. The next morning, however, I did notice that I wasn't really biting my nails or really even looking at them. Maybe it was just in my head, but they looked hard, like actually unpleasant to bite. Was I really hypnotized last night, or was I just discovering the placebo effect?
I don't even care.
I squealed with delight and got to work, filming for a different video I'm working on right now, enjoying my new non-nail biting self. Oh wait, what the hell?
Did I just bite my nail? Damn it. Well, good thing I was filming when I did it. Shit, I bit my nail. Damn. Well, that's obviously not great. Man, I was really optimistic this morning that it actually worked and I was hypnotized, but then I stopped paying attention for 1 second, and I'm not just having the urge to bite my nails, but I already bit it? How am I supposed to stop biting my nails if my body just does it without even asking first? I'm worried now. I feel like I was just living an illusion this morning, and none of it worked. I just pulled the bottom card out of a house of cards and the whole thing just tumbled over. Maybe I am a nail biter and I always will be. And on top of that, I'm dumb for spending $250 on this. And on top of that, I'm ugly. Doesn't have to do with my nail biting. I just feel really down on myself right now. I did do the self-hypnosis that he taught me right afterwards. Again, still not exactly sure that that's hypnotizing me. I'm gonna continue doing everything I was supposed to do, listening to the recording, doing the self-hypnosis as needed, and meditating, and hopefully this was just a glitch and everything's gonna be fine.
To my surprise, something did seem to change after this. The next few days, I did have a few instances where I lifted my hand to my mouth just out of muscle memory, but I caught myself right away, and after day 4, I wasn't doing it at all. I was listening to the recording every night, following the hypnotist's advice and taking good care of my nails, and they were actually almost starting to look normal. I had my second session with the hypnotist, which ran me another $200. Luckily, this portion of the video is sponsored by SoFi, who's here to keep us all on top of our finances. The hypnotist checked in on my progress. He said I was doing great, in fact, better than most people he works with at this stage, which I don't know if that's necessarily a good sign. During the hypnotism, I had trouble concentrating again. I guess I just couldn't stop thinking about how SoFi is the ultimate finance app that helps you bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Not to mention, they've just launched SoFi Plus, America's most rewarding financial membership, all in one app. This time, the hypnotist led me through a story where I was attending a meditation retreat led by the Dalai Lama in Central Park. That sounds expensive. I must have been using SoFi Plus. You see, you can unlock more than $1,000 in value with qualifying activities in banking, spending, investing, and more, with exclusive perks that help you over time. That includes unlimited access to SoFi's wealth financial planners who help you make a plan and stick to it. Plus, members with a new or existing SoFi checking and savings account also unlock up to 3.8% APY on bank savings balances. That means you're earning 9 times the average national rate on your savings. At that rate, you'll earn more interest in 7 weeks than you would in 1 year in a big bank savings account. That's why SoFi Plus isn't just smart, it's how you make good choices. So head on over to SoFi.com/Danny, scan this QR code, or click the link in the description to learn more about how you can get your money right with SoFi Plus. Thanks to SoFi for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out SoFi. After 7 days, I was doing so well, I decided I could stop meditating and listening to the recording every night. I mean, it kind of seemed like I was done biting my nails. Surely I didn't even need those anymore, right? You guys, it's been 30 days and I haven't bitten my nails once since that first time. Peekaboo! Kind of a crazy way to reveal my nails. Look, now just because I stopped biting my nails, does that 100% mean that I for sure got hypnotized? No, honestly, no, I don't think it does. Honestly, I think it's possible that I was hypnotized, but I'm leaning towards I don't think so. Honestly, I kind of feel like it was all the other advice on top of listening to that very inspirational, albeit non-hypnotizing recording every night that actually made the difference. At the end of the day, maybe I didn't need to get hypnotized to stop biting my nails. Maybe I had it in me all along, which is kind of inspirational and also makes me feel like shit in a way, because then it's like, why didn't I just do this earlier? Regardless, I am still open to the possibility that I was in fact hypnotized. I feel like if I can get hypnotized by the stage hypnotist, then I'll know for sure what being hypnotized feels like, and then I'll know for sure if I was hypnotized back then too.
Hypnosis is a state of focus without much awareness of peripheral noise. You're concentrated on one thing and the world kind of slips away.
This is stage hypnotist Chris Jones. He's been on America's Got Talent. He's performed all over the world for over a decade. So if anyone's going to be able to hypnotize me, it better be this guy. Also, the GoPro on my head died the second we started getting hypnotized, so don't get your hopes up for any shots from this camera. All right, fine, you can have this one, but that's it. Chris suggested that this would be a lot more fun with a group, so I got some friends together and we all sat down for a night of hypnotism.
I want to know your opinions, and don't worry about hurting my feelings at all. I want to know if you think hypnosis is real, shenanigans, you need more evidence.
Yeah, I believe it's real. I'm definitely, I don't like saying this in front of you, like a harder wall for myself, because I feel like that's a challenge, and that makes me like kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would say I think it is probably real sometimes.
I think in general I'm pretty skeptical of like supernatural stuff, but I don't know, I really do kind of believe hypnotism.
I really want to be hypnotized, but I feel like maybe it won't work on me. But I hope it does.
Before we got started, Chris allowed some time for us to ask him questions about what was about to happen. Like whether all of us would get hypnotized or just some of us.
I've done this in 50 states and 10 countries. I can hypnotize 25% of any given audience. So 1 or 2 people are gonna get hypnotized today. And it might be the camera person. I don't know. I really, honest to goodness, don't know.
We also asked if he could tell if someone was really hypnotized or just faking it.
When your head is up, we can tell. People hypnotized look like they've had a few drinks, or they're gonna look like they've been riding in a car with Scooby-Doo and Willie Nelson for a couple hours. They're gonna look real relaxed, okay?
For a second I was like, so like they look like Scrappy?
We also noted that Brian seemed to be the one who believed in hypnosis the most, and he was also maybe the most nervous about what was going to happen.
Well, what are you gonna do to me?
That's a good other question. Like, what are you gonna do to me if I get hypnotized? Honest to goodness, I don't know. I'm gonna put my hand over all of you and tell you who I think is most likely to get hypnotized. I'm pointing in the direction of the person who I think is most likely to get hypnotized. Now, you won't see the induction often on TV or podcasts or even movies, because this next part, if you watch it in its entirety, it could hypnotize people. So they're gonna cut it up a little bit so folks at home don't get hypnotized while driving a car. So you put your hands together for me like this.
The induction lasted a few minutes, and just like the hypnotherapy, it seemed to involve getting us really relaxed.
So there's different strategies getting someone hypnotized. I have you focus on my voice and your breathing. So take a gentle breath in.
And it seemed to rely really heavily on using our imagination. Like he had us imagine that our fingers were pulling together with magnets.
And you can whisper the words to yourself or out loud. The word is magnets. 1, 2, 3, magnets. And then I see who's the best candidate. The best personality, people have a great imagination. Imagine I put a 10-pound brick into that empty palm. So your palm just starts to get more heavy. And then I make them drop and sleep all the way down, every muscle and every nerve. Allow your eyes to open. Breath in, slowly, gently, 1, 2, and 3, eyes open. Yes, so we understand. You can see like a before and after. You see their faces getting a little bit of that drunky or like stony look to them. Brian, of course. Yeah, what's happening? What are you feeling? Tell us your wife, because you are a great candidate for hypnosis. I can totally tell. You are there. Danny's there as well. I just want you all to interact in a moment, but what are you feeling right now?
I'm just hanging out with the crew.
Is there anything that he could do or wouldn't do that'd be like, holy cannoli, this, my husband, my partner for life, is in a different headspace?
Jeez. I don't know. I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. I wouldn't be put on a spot like this. I don't know. What would he not do?
For whatever reason, we couldn't seem to come up with a single thing that Brian would never do off the top of our heads. I guess that's just a testament to what an insane dude Brian is. Whatever the reason, all this uncertainty seemed to pull Brian out of his hypnotic trance. So Chris quickly moved on to his next target.
Thank you, Brian, of course, and sleep. Relax and let go from the top of your head to the very bottom of your feet. Relax every muscle and every nerve and every fiber in your body. In a moment, I want you to picture and feel in your mind's eye that you again are holding on to a helium balloon. So make that right fist strong now. Make a fist and let that balloon I tie after your wrist pull higher and higher towards the ceiling, and it's going to extend now. Let that entire arm extend up towards the ceiling. Focus on nothingness, but that feeling of lightness now. 3 numbers, you're going to open your eyes, but your arm is stuck, cemented, cast iron in that position. You can't get your arm down. That's just the crazy shit. That's just how it's going to work for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. Your arm is stuck until I unstuck it. Eyes open. So this again is the hypnotic state. Everyone experiences it in different forms, shapes. What's on your mind? Please, the show is ours. The show is ours.
This is interesting. I'm not sure if I'm hypnotized. I don't think I am.
Yeah.
But at any point, I don't think I am either. I mean, because I was really trying to go along with it and like, you know, do as much like, you know, mentally imaging things and I was like, he's not focusing on me for a reason.
And it will all make sense in the end. Yes. Question?
Can you put your hand down, or is it?
I think so. It did feel stuck for a little bit. It does feel like it wants to be up.
Not going down.
Yeah. Well, it did just now, right? Is that that? Okay.
And I can't help but notice what we can all see clearly. That arm is back up there.
That's like the resting position for you right now. Is that? That's not natural.
Yeah, that's how his arm always is.
That's how my arm always is.
Point one finger on that hand. When that finger touches you on the face, and it will, you're gonna go back to that state of deep relaxation again. Cool. This is a text message. All right. All right, you can share that with your husband.
Go to sleep, Brian. Go to sleep, Brian.
Great. Sometimes you get some folks. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Danny, wide awake. Hey, your homeboy has a text for you. You can just read that.
Go to sleep, Danny. I will go to sleep. Okay, clearly the dynamic changed here a little bit, and I'm still not exactly sure what happened, but somehow both Brian and I got snapped out of whatever might have been going on. But just when I feel bad, I heard you guys all leave.
I didn't know if I was supposed to stay asleep or what.
That's all right. Good morning.
So even though it wore off pretty quickly, I think we can all agree by the look on my face, I was in some different kind of mental state, at least for a little bit there. So is hypnotism real? Maybe so. What does it feel like? Well, just ask Danny from right after the hypnotist left.
I'm curious, did it seem like I was hypnotized?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit.
Because I feel like I don't really think I was.
Really?
Naturally, what followed was about 20 minutes of the rest of the group trying to convince me that I was in fact hypnotized.
Physically, I was shocked with how much you guys collapsed.
You two did definitely have like a very glassy.
It almost feels like I'm gaslighting you about you being hypnotized. Like for somebody to come up and be like, sleep, and then you collapse is like such a suggestible state that is not your own.
Am I just a little bitch that'll do anything anyone tells me?
I can't believe it, but I genuinely didn't realize I was hypnotized until the next day when I watched the footage and realized how out of it I was.
Okay. No, maybe I see a little bit of what he was talking about there. I do look a little bit out of it, actually.
I guess in the end, hypnotism is real, but it doesn't feel at all how I thought it would. It kind of just felt like I was very relaxed, maybe even a little bit tipsy or like dazed. It honestly felt kind of good, and I think you can tell I was a little extra giggly. Hey, look, it says all those things on Google too. That's crazy. I didn't have to make this video at all. Now that I know what it's supposed to feel like, I guess I could say it's possible that I really did get hypnotized to stop biting my nails too. I just didn't understand what it was supposed to feel like. But I still don't know that I recommend it for the $450 I ended up paying, especially when there's a bunch of free hypnosis sessions on YouTube you could probably just try. Damn, I can't believe I'll never bite my nails again. Thanks for watching, guys. What's up, Greg, and welcome back to another episode of Please Stop Trying to Give Birth at Disneyland. Please. Did you guys know about this? I just found out this is a thing. Women are trying to give birth at Disneyland in order to get a free lifetime pass. Don't do that. As I'm sure you guys are aware, because Disney is such a huge company with so many adoring fans and people love going to Disneyland, there are a ton of like urban legends and lore surrounding the Disney parks. You guys may have heard of some of the more outlandish ones, like there's one that like Walt Disney's head is like frozen and buried somewhere at Disneyland or something, or like it's like Buzz Lightyear's head on the Toy Story ride or something like that. But today I wanted to sort of dive into some of the urban legends surrounding the Disney parks. Mostly the strange things that Disney adults do at the Disney parks. Although some of these things are so weird that I hesitate to call these people Disney adults, some of these things are a little extreme. Kind of feel like I should call them something else. These people are like Disney extremists or something, I don't know. The first one, like I said, women flock to Disneyland to give birth and get a lifetime free ticket, which is such a bad idea on its face. Like, please give birth in a hospital, give birth where there are like medical professionals around and not like a chipmunk. And the worst part of it is obviously this perk is an urban myth and does not exist. This is not a real thing. Laboring women have shown up at Disneyland in the hope that their bub will be born there and get a lifetime free ticket. But guess what? That perk is an urban myth and does not exist. Important to note, this article is Australian. That's why they're calling the baby bub. They're talking about a baby there. They're not talking about like a bottle of champagne or something. I'm going to Disneyland and giving birth to that bubbly dude, which is also what I call having a fart. I just gave birth to a bubbly. As a veteran of the pregnancy game, I know for sure that the journey to motherhood, okay, that's a weird way to say I've given birth before, or just that I am a mom. As a veteran to the pregnancy game. So you have kids, right? Me? Yep, yeah, that's right. I've done 3 tours of pregnancy. I've seen shit you cannot imagine. The pain, the screaming. Yeah, I've heard childbirth can be pretty tough. The innocent lives lost. Oh. What? The airstrikes. So many civilian casualties. Are we still talking about giving birth? Yes. Laboring women are racing to Disneyland's gates in hopes that if their baby is born there, they will secure their child a lifetime pass. Okay, so the article goes on to describe that there are people that have given birth at Disneyland before, and people have tried to replicate it and give birth at Disneyland, and they've gotten caught, and it hasn't gone well. I do feel like the article is over-exaggerating, though, saying that laboring women are racing to Disneyland's gates. Like, pregnant women have, like, the baby already coming out and they're shoving it back in, like running into Disneyland. There's just like a crowd of angry mothers-to-be banging on the gates in front of Disneyland. Let us in! We must release our spawn! Like making a break to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride to do a water birth. I just feel like they're exaggerating a little bit. I don't know if I would characterize it quite like that. So you're probably wondering how this rumor started. Like, did Disney ever at one point give a lifetime pass to someone whose baby was born at Disneyland? Well, I will let this TikTok explain that.
Today in Disney history, the very first Disneyland baby was born. Rosa Salcedo gave birth to a 6-pound, 10-ounce baby girl on a bench on Main Street, USA, right outside of the Plaza Inn. Can you imagine visiting Disneyland as a family of 2 and coming out as a family of 3?
Yeah, I can actually. But not because I'm gonna give birth. I'm gonna kidnap Donald Duck. You're my child now, Donald. The perfect happy family of 3. Husband, wife, and my uncle Donald Duck, who I've been holding at gunpoint for the past 16 years.
There have been 4 babies born at Disneyland, and all of them have been girls, but only one has their own Disneyland birth certificate.
So that might not have sounded significant, but that's actually how the rumor started. The first baby that was born there, Teresa, got a birth certificate that was just like a Disney birth certificate that says like, this is the first baby to ever be born at Disneyland. And I guess like word got out that this baby got some kind of special certificate, and then people just started assuming like, oh, that's a lifetime pass. That baby got a lifetime pass. And from that moment on, has just been a rumor that if you give birth at Disneyland, your baby gets a lifetime free pass. So honestly, if you're like that big of a Disney fan and you do this, you don't even get a lifetime pass. You still have to pay to go to Disneyland. It's just your baby that gets in for free. And I kind of feel like babies get in for free to Disneyland anyway. Is that true? Children under the age of 3 get in free to all 4 theme parks and 2 water parks at Disney World. There you go. You want your kid to get in free to Disneyland? A better conspiracy would be just pretend they're 3 years old for their entire life. That shit could actually work. The article goes on to talk about a time where someone has tried to sneak in to give birth at Disneyland, and they hid in the bathroom while going into labor until I guess employees had to like assure her that her baby would not be getting a lifetime pass, and then she was like, oh, okay, fine, then I'll just go to the hospital. Once they assured her that she would not be receiving a lifetime passport, she came out and accepted the ambulance ride to Western Medical Center where her baby was born shortly thereafter. I don't know about you guys, but it kind of sounds like she failed the test. If you know anything about Disneyland, you know how well the cast members there, all of the employees, all the staff, all the people in costumes are trained to like respond to every circumstance. It sounds like you just entered the giving birth at Disneyland experience, and honestly, you didn't make it to the end where you get the prize. It also says that this discussion board, The Laughing Place, has some hilarious forum chats about this topic. So I guess other people have been like sharing stories about this happening on this forum, but when I clicked on it, it turns out that it doesn't exist anymore. Which kind of sucks because I wanted to find out more times that this has happened, but honestly, it is probably for the best. Kind of sounds like they were talking about some pretty sick shit in there. You think you're gonna go to a Disney forum and see people talking about like, my favorite movie's Coco, but instead you see people talking about like, I'm gonna give birth inside of Pluto's house. I'm gonna go to Disneyland and get fucked by Goofy, and then Goofy's gonna be the father of my child, and I'm gonna give birth on It's a Small World. And I'm gonna make Elmer Fudd cut the umbilical cord. Is Elmer Fudd a Disney character? I actually don't think he is. But he's gonna be there anyway. And then me and my freak mutant, half goofy, half human child will both get lifetime passes. Free pass for life for my little freak. Passes or not, being born in Disneyland is a pretty cool claim. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. The way this is written, it kind of makes it sound like, so you might not get a free pass, but I don't know, it's worth a shot. You might want to do it anyway, just for shits. I've actually found a little bit of discussion about this on TikTok as well.
Quick question, what's stopping me from giving birth in Disney World? Like in the Magic Kingdom, on a ride, in the Epcot ball?
I think this TikTok in particular is a joke, but the comments under this TikTok are actually very interesting. I went into labor at Disney. They were not cool about it. And people like responded asking her to elaborate, and she goes on to detail her experience going into labor at Disney. And from her experience, it kind of sounds like the second anybody starts going into labor at Disney now because of this conspiracy, the entire staff immediately flips and like makes it their top priority to get you out of the park and like to a hospital to give birth. And I guess that sometimes they can be so rushed trying to get you out of the park that it comes off as rude, but obviously they're just like concerned for your health. They also don't want this rumor escalating of like people giving birth getting a free pass. And also it's just like people in sweaty mascot costumes trying to not deliver a baby because that's not their job. So sometimes I guess it comes off as rude. But the funny thing is, from this woman's entire explanation, it sounds like she didn't even know that this urban legend was a thing. So in her head, I guess she just like broke some unspoken rule at Disneyland that she had no idea about and made the entire staff of the happiest place on earth turn on her in an instant, which is so funny to me. Hello there, what can I get for you? Yeah, can I just get a medium root beer, please? Oh, great. Oh, great, another guy here to put his balls in the root beer. What? Hey everybody, this guy right here is about to pull out his big fat balls in front of everyone, in front of a bunch of children, and put his balls in a glass of root beer. Why would I do that? Don't play dumb. I'm not playing dumb. I am dumb in this situation. You've clearly heard that if you put your stupid fat balls— why do you keep calling them fat— in the root beer at Disneyland, you get to spend the night with Minnie Mouse. Oh, what the fuck? No, I just wanted some root beer. Is that true? No, it's an urban legend. But no matter how many times we tell people it's not true, we still get perverts like you coming to Disneyland, ordering root beer just so they can put their stupid— don't call them fat— fat balls in it! Oh, come on, man, don't cry. I already am. Why do you still sell root beer if this keeps happening? Because if you shit in the root beer, you actually do get a free fast pass for Space Mountain. Okay, I don't want to put my balls in root beer, and I definitely don't want to shit in the root beer, okay? I legitimately just want to drink some root beer. Oh. Sorry, my bad, man. I didn't know. Okay, well, that's literally what I asked for, so here you go. Ah, what the fuck is that? It's Walt Disney's head. You said the secret code, so here's his head. No, root beer. What? I wanted root beer. I wanted to drink root beer. So no head? No. Overall, pretty disappointing that anyone actually believed this in the first place. In what world would Disney want to foster an environment where mothers are coming into their park, their theme park, to try to give birth? Especially if they're not like billing it back to the person that gave birth and being like, okay, here's your hospital bill, and because it's Disney, it was $1 million. Now, by now, it should be no surprise to you that there are some people in this world that want to spend every waking moment of their lives at Disneyland, especially their most precious moments in life, which is why you can also get married at Disneyland.
Let's take a look at some of the craziest places you can get married at Disney World. Starting at $12,000, you can get married at the Haunted Mansion in Disney World.
But just like expecting mothers trying to sneak into the bathroom to pop out a quick a quick person. Couples are of course also trying to cheat the system and avoid paying to have their wedding at Disney. So they'll just like sneak in with like themselves, maybe a couple family members and an officiant, and just like have the wedding in like a somewhat secluded area of the park. Here we have an article that details a San Diego couple sharing their secret Disneyland wedding story. Not many people can say they secretly got married in Disneyland's Sleeping Beauty Castle. 2 years ago, Gabriel and Andrea had been saving up for their dream wedding at Disneyland. However, when they began looking for wedding options at the park, the couple said that the cheapest option was $12,000. Instead, they decided to spend their life savings on a house. Great move, honestly. No complaints so far. That's a very wise choice. So Gabriel and Andrea decided to have a secret wedding at Disneyland. The couple gathered Gabriel's oldest daughter, an ordained minister, a witness, and packed their bags, heading for Disneyland for what they called a guerrilla-style wedding. Now, I don't know much about weddings. I've only had one, but I do know that you don't generally want to have them guerrilla style. Like when we were planning our wedding, that word almost never came up, I don't think. Just imagining them describing their wedding afterwards, like, yeah, it was so romantic. We hid in the bushes for 8 hours in the hot Florida sun wearing camo paint, waiting for the crowds to die down. You know, just sort of waiting out the crowds and the gunshots, the airstrikes. Airstrikes? Then we popped out and I said I do. Happiest day of my life. Here's my favorite picture of the big day. Now buckle up because this next urban legend is about to get nasty. Quite literally, this is disgusting. Like I said, the most devoted Disney fans would probably spend forever at Disney if they could, but maybe they can. For years and years, the Haunted Mansion has been the home to an endless supply of Disney myths and legends. But the attraction's most prevalent and persistent rumor is that guests regularly spread the remains of their friends and family inside the ride. This can't be true though, right? It is 100% true. Yes, that is right, and I don't want to bash anybody's final wishes. I know that that's a very personal thing, but spreading human remains in a public place that people are like walking around and touching? Please don't do that. Or you know what, I should say, you know, because I feel bad for people who are just trying to honor their dead relatives' wishes or whatever. If you're alive still and you're watching this video and that's gonna be in your will, please take it out. Don't make people do that on your behalf. Honestly, I am a little relieved that people are sticking to like spreading ashes at least, because there are a lot of different ways to dispose of a body. It was actually my grandpa's greatest wish to be laid to rest at Disney. Oh, that's sweet. You're gonna scatter his ashes around at the park? Not exactly. The Haunted Mansion probably has so much human ashes in it, it's not even funny, said one Disneyland custodian. Blech! That is the nastiest thing. Oh my God. Don't do that. Do not do that. Please.
People scatter their loved ones' ashes in the Disney parks monthly. Can you imagine just like being on a ride and the person next to you is dumping out ashes? Disney employees are literally aware of this too. They have to follow special protocols every time this happens. The custodians are used to identifying and vacuuming up these ashes.
I don't know why I was surprised to hear they vacuum them up. Of course they do. It's a literal human corpse, basically. Of course they get rid of it. The people who are like requesting this happen to their bodies must know this, right? They must know that some custodian that does not willingly work in like a morgue or something is going to have to take care of that. This sounds awful for everyone. If you're the custodian, you have to vacuum it up, but if you're the person that just lost someone you care about, you have to know that they're just gonna vacuum it up. They might even make you watch. They have you come identify all the places that you scattered the remains, and then they just like make eye contact with you while they're vacuuming it up. This is going in the garbage now. We're gonna throw this in the garbage now. Say bye-bye. So when you're laying them to rest in the happiest place on earth, you're actually condemning them to forever in the suckiest place in the world. Yes, that is a very funny joke.
And people will put them anywhere too. Like flower beds, bushes, the lawn at Magic Kingdom, outside the park gates.
Outside the park gates? They'll put this shit anywhere too, you know, outside the park gates, on the highway on the way home, the McDonald's across the street, Universal Studios, shit anywhere. It doesn't really matter. I feel so bad for the employees that have to deal with this, honestly. That would be so scary. Honestly, even as a patron, you know, I honestly like going to Disneyland every once in a while. I think it's pretty fun. But next time I go, I am going to be terrified that I'm like touching human remains at all times. Especially now knowing that they put them everywhere. I'm gonna be eating a turkey leg and wondering like, is this actually some guy's leg?
They're most frequently dispersed around the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of perfect if you ask me.
Okay, this girl's actually a little bit too into it. But now this whole ashes thing, which is not really an urban legend, is actually true, has actually spawned urban legends out of it, as you can see here.
Have you heard of the legend of the crying boy at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland. The story goes a mother spread her son's ashes without permission from Disneyland, and you can see him crying as you're exiting the ride.
Spooky. I wonder why he's crying. Maybe because his ashes are in a vacuum. Maybe because he was a little boy and his mom spread his ashes in the scariest ride at Disneyland. The mom was like, yeah, my son used to love this ride. Every time we would get on it, he would be screaming and crying and shaking because he was so happy and excited. So I decided this is the perfect place for him to spend the rest of eternity. In a rundown castle of pure terror. It's what my darling little boy would have wanted. All in all, it seems to me that Disney, this giant corporation that owns like every media property known to man, has their grubby little fingers wrapped around people a little bit too tightly. It's like you already have every movie and TV show. Do you really need people like begging to spend their entire lives at your theme park also? But even still, with people spreading their loved ones' ashes at Disney, people trying to give birth at Disney just to get free tickets, Disney is still trying their best to immerse you in their parks as much as possible to make you never want to leave. Recently, Disney opened up the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, which is a Star Wars hotel and experience. I think it's like a 2 or 3 day long experience where you are like in this hotel. There's like a story that you have to follow about shit going on around you. It seems very immersive, and to a pretty big Star Wars fan, honestly, it sounds pretty cool. But it is also $5,000, and instead of windows, your room has a screen that just shows a video of outer space playing. So, you know, just keep that in mind that you might go insane while you're in this place. With no concept of night or day, you just have to adhere to the Star Wars pre-approved activities. There's like stormtroopers patrolling the halls at all times. It's kind of like they wanted to build a Star Wars hotel, but they built a prison instead. I read through some of the Google reviews for this hotel. It's only been open for a little bit, so there's not that much to go off of. And honestly, there are a lot of 5-star reviews of people who seemingly really enjoyed it. I did think that this review was really funny. This person gave it a 1 out of 5, and they said, thought the experience was fun, but not worth the price. There are too many missions to keep track of, and you are always missing something. It kind of seems like they got like too immersed in the story and like started to believe that they really needed to complete these missions. This sounds more like the review of a disgruntled employee that like works on a spaceship. There are too many fucking missions, man. There's too much shit to do. The hyperdrive is gonna fail, and I need to fix that. Not to mention the First Order's breathing down my fucking neck, trying to get me to give away the location of my comrade. This place is fucking stressful. I think my favorite thing I've seen come out of this Star Wars hotel is this apparently now deleted ad for the experience that says, strike unlikely alliances in your very own Star Wars story. Apparently when you come in, you can decide if you want to be like on the good side or the bad side. So this, holy shit, this place is metal, dude. This goes hard. It's crazy to me that you actually can choose to be on the side of like the evil intergalactic fascists, basically. You and your preteen daughter can don First Order uniforms and betray one of your favorite character's trusts, Chewbacca, giving away his location and leading the First Order directly to him, who will take him away to be tortured and then eventually executed. It might be a little too immersive. It might be. We're gonna start hearing people come back and you're gonna be like, how was your trip? You went to the Star Wars hotel, right? And they'll be like, the guilt over my actions will haunt me forever. But I did what I had to do. It was honestly fucking sick. I loved it. And honestly, like, if someone offered to bring me there for free, would I go? Yes, I probably would. Yeah, honestly, I would like to go 100%. I would like to go. And as if living in an intergalactic life is curated by Disney. Oh gosh. I feel like we have so much chemistry together. Me too. This has been great. This date was a lot of fun. I really haven't connected with anyone like this in a long time. Fantastic. How likely would you be to recommend this experience to a friend? What? On a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate my performance? Performance? I thought you were just like genuinely interested in me, like romantically. Oh, perfect. So a 10 then? I really opened up to you. And you opened up to me. That's all just part of the story living experience. It's Disney magic. So that whole story you told me about how sad you were that you had to release your pet into the wild because it had grown to be wild. That was the plot of The Fox and the Hound. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Thank you for riding Disney's Love Connection. Please make sure you pick up all your belongings as you exit the ride.
Are you an animatronic?
Please do not try to fuck any of the animatronics.
Are you all animatronic?
Have a lovely day here at
Am I the only person that lives here? Anyway, that's the end of the video. It's time to talk about our sponsor. What's up?
It's me, a hacker, and I'm so excited to steal your data because you don't have today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. You see, sending data over an unencrypted network is a lot like sending a postcard. There's no envelope to cover up your info and protect your sacred message. So any old creep with a little bit of basic computer knowledge and a little bit of free time can come along and check out all of your private information. I'm talking passwords, financial details, hell, emails. I'm gonna look at all of it. I'm doing it right now. Hey guys, I was just kidding. It's just me, Danny. I wasn't kidding about most of it actually. Just the part about me being a hacker, but the rest of it is true. Oh, there's not enough light on my face now. Can I just sort of illuminate my face with this? Luckily, today's sponsor, ExpressVPN, is here to help. Because ExpressVPN encrypts all of your network data with their best-in-class encryption. It would literally take a hacker using a supercomputer billions of years to crack this encryption. ExpressVPN has the fastest speeds out there. They've got 24/7 customer support, and ExpressVPN is extremely easy to use. You can fire it up and get connected with just one click. I've got ExpressVPN on every device that can have it, just to have a little bit of extra peace of mind when I'm out and about, especially on public Wi-Fi. So if you want to find out how you can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free, then head on over to the link in the description. That's expressvpn.com/Danny Gonzalez. That's expressvpn.com/Danny Gonzalez. Thank you, ExpressVPN, so much for keeping us safe, but also sponsoring this video. Thank you to you guys for checking out ExpressVPN. When you click on the link, it really helps to support my channel, so thank you for that. All right, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. Greg is what I call my army here on YouTube. We are a ruthless army whose violence and terror knows no bounds. Please subscribe and turn on my notifications to join, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. To the average person, it might look like I'm about to commit shoplifting as I place item after item into my shopping cart and then leave without checking out, scanning my items, or talking to anyone. But I'm not shoplifting. I'm using technology. You see, this is a new type of store that uses sensors, cameras, and AI to track me through the aisles, adding every item that I pick up to a virtual cart. And the moment I exit the store, it charges my account. It's an incredible new technology created by Amazon called Just Walk Out, and it's in dozens of Amazon Fresh grocery stores just like this one. I'm not just gonna not eat them. Okay, anyway, where was I in the script before I became a criminal? Oh yeah, they're an incredible new technology. They're called Amazon Fresh Stores, and they are a gigantic lie. You see, while Amazon was touting these stores as a cashierless solution that allowed them to use AI to cut out all of the on-location workers, it turns out what it really meant by AI was anonymous Indians. Amazon's Just Walk Out stores relied on 1,000 people in India watching, not AI. So it turns out that even though they started implementing this technology in stores in like 2016, as of 2023, Amazon still needed 1,000 people in India reviewing about 70% of all orders to make sure that it worked. In other words, it didn't work. It's just crazy because, like, why did they lie, you know? They didn't have to implement this technology into stores. I don't think anyone was asking for this. And yet, I feel like this kind of thing has been happening a lot lately. Tech companies have been taking some big swings and some even bigger misses. Like so big that in this baseball metaphor, the pitcher's throwing it right down the middle and the batter is in the stands just bashing some fan's head in. And that's why I've gathered you here today at Greg Tech's 2024 Developers Conference, where I will be testing some of the year's greatest tech flops. Starting with the Humane AI Pin. I did a video on the AI Pin when it was announced months ago as this sort of AI-powered phone replacing device that you wear on your shirt. And look, personally, I'm all for rethinking the form factor of the smartphone to make it less distracting while still maintaining all of the functionality, but unfortunately, the AI Pin did the opposite of both of those things. In the demos on their own product announcement, it was screwing up hard. It was messing up facts. It also seemed super difficult to use. And it seemed like they were being intentionally vague about what the thing even did in the first place.
It's a standalone device and software platform.
It seemed like the type of thing that literally only a sucker could buy. But that turned out not to be true because I bought one. I ordered this thing in like February and then didn't hear from them for a few months until April, when I got an email alerting me that it was time to set up my account. And boy, was I excited. So I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot that I bought this, but now my AI pin is ready to be personalized, apparently. Before we can ship you your AI pin, you will need to complete a few quick steps. So I have to set it up before they're even gonna send it to me? Kind of feels like they're calling my bluff. You don't really want this thing. How committed are you to the AI pin? Will you set it up before we even ship it to you? You probably won't configure your Humane subscription, set up your AI pin passcode, and add contacts. And honestly, I don't really want to do those things, but I guess they're not going to send it to me unless I do. It's time to set up your AI pin. There comes a time in every young man's life where he has to set up his AI pin. It's a rite of passage. Oh, that's fun. Woo! Is this it? Am I setting it up? Get a little over here, a little over here. It turns out that in addition to the $700 I spent on this thing, I also had to pay $24 a month to access features like the wireless network, cloud storage, and AI services, which in layman's terms are all of the things that the pin does. Luckily, the first 3 months of this service are free, so I probably will never have to actually pay for it. Set up your passcode. Okay, could you guys not look? I'm about to type in my secure passcode. Okay. Your passcode is easy to guess. Consider setting a more secure passcode. Yeah, but could it be so simple that it's actually, you would never guess it? All right, I'll change it. How is that easy to guess? It's my birthday. I guess does it know my birthday? Do you know my birthday? Fun fact, I actually didn't know this before recording this video, but it turns out almost every single combination of 4 numbers is easy to guess. How is that easy to guess? But eventually, I reached into the dark recesses of my mind and came up with a number combination so random, so, quite frankly, disgusting, that no one, not even God, not even me later in this video, will be able to guess it. Okay, well, let me write this down somewhere so that I don't forget it. Already using my phone for something because I don't have the pin yet, so I have to use the phone to remember the passcode to the thing that is gonna replace my phone. Connect your services. Oh, cool, I can connect my Google Photo and title services, which I have both. And just like that, I was done. I have solved Humane's riddles, and now they have to send me my prize. All right, well, I guess too creepy to have this many friends. Are these people you kidnapped or something? Basically just the really dumb, slow ones. One thing that really surprised me about this movie is how overwhelmingly positive all of the comments on YouTube are. This movie is super boring, the acting is really bad, there are long periods of seemingly pointless plot development, and yet the YouTube comments seem to love it. But they are pretty much exclusively all about how pretty the scenery in Thailand is and not about the movie or the plot at all. So I guess that makes sense. Great movie, well filmed, nice locations, beautiful filming. Never thought Thailand was so perfect a paradise. Thanks so much. Yeah, well, it's not that perfect if people keep getting eaten by alligators, is it? Great movie with beautiful scenery. Thanks. Do these people think that the director invented Thailand? Because he didn't. It's been around for a while and you can go there. So they find the croc and they kill it. It's honestly pretty unsatisfying. I don't know what I was expecting, for them to like pull off the mask of the alligator and it was the tax investigator all along. But I was hoping for some kind of closure as to like why this happened outside of 2 fishermen woke him up with a bomb. The ending of this movie is very somber. They're all just kind of traumatized on their little boat until Jack's sister asks Croc if the crocodile ate his leg. I forgot to mention, Croc only has 1 leg. I don't know if you've noticed that. And so you just assume, oh, he must be hunting the croc because the croc ate his leg. And Croc says, good, good. I was hoping this movie would end like an episode of The Big Bang Theory. Well, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hello, Greg. Well, guys, I've got some interesting content for you today, as usual. I found a very curious case that I would like your opinion on, but I don't want to give anything away just yet. I just want you to watch the first couple TikToks, and then I will sort of explain what's going on, okay? So this is the first TikTok I saw of this guy. His name is Dustin Tyler. It says, drink a bucket of bleach or date Selena Gomez again. Let's see what he says. So yeah, deeply personal thing to post on TikTok, I feel like. I didn't know who this guy is when I first saw this TikTok, so I was just very confused. I was like, did this guy date Selena Gomez? It says again. It's not just some guy speculating, like, I probably wouldn't like dating Selena Gomez, so yeah, I'll take the bleach. So then he made another video responding to this comment. It says, is he making fun of Bryce Hall, or, and I don't know what that's referring to. I don't know if Bryce Hall said that he liked Selena Gomez or dated her or something, but this just provides a little more insight into the relationship that this guy had with Selena Gomez.
Nah, I'm not making fun of Bryce Hall. Him and I are nothing alike. See, he has to make stories up that he was with Selena Gomez. Me, I actually was. And then I friend zoned her, and then I broke her little heart.
Again, a very mean tone to the video, condescending to this person who is just genuinely asking a question, but gives a lot of insight into his alleged relationship with Selena Gomez.
And then I friend zoned her, and then I broke her little heart.
I am curious about the details of the story though, because just the order of events is kind of weird to me, the way he laid it out. He says, I was with Selena Gomez, and then I friend zoned her, and then I broke her little heart. He says that things happened in that order. Usually, you don't start dating someone and then friend zone them. Usually when guys talk about getting friend zoned, it's like they're talking to this girl and then she reveals that she sees them as more like friends. This guy's saying we were dating. They could have been dating for like 3 years, and then he turns to her and he's like, you know, I really see you like a sister. The best sister I ever had. So he says he dated her and then friend zoned her and then broke her heart. So he like friend zoned her, broke things off with her, and then he broke her heart. What did he do? I dated her, I friend zoned her, and then I killed her hamster. Just straight up stepped on it. This was years later, by the way. Anyway, by now you're probably wondering, who the hell is this guy? Is this Justin Bieber? Because I know they dated. That's what I thought at first. I thought, is this what Justin Bieber looks like now? But no, this guy's name is Dustin Tyler. And I scrolled through his page to try to figure out who this guy is, and here's what I came up with.
It's coming soon, but just like Oklahoma, mine is coming sooner. I'm just a late bloomer.
Okay, so I didn't know who this guy was at first, but luckily there's a logo in the corner that says Victorious. Apparently this guy was a character on Victorious. At first I did think this was Andy Samberg from 2006, but he was a character, let's see, Victorious puppet guy. He was this guy. Robbie Shapiro is one of Tori's friends at Hollywood Arts, and he's got a few videos where he does sort of a glow up. He's like, this is what I used to look like back when I was on Victorious, and this is what I look like now. Don't I look so different? And then I was like, okay, this makes sense now. So this guy used to be on like an old Nickelodeon show, and so he was probably in with the Nick kids and the Disney kids, and so that's how he knew Selena Gomez, and that's how they dated, right? It all makes sense. However, after reading the comments on these TikToks, I came to discover that this guy, this man, is not the guy from Victorious. These are two different people. He's just straight up lying about everything. He's not that guy. He didn't date Selena Gomez. His page is full of lies. And to be honest, he's not lying very well, mind you, because the actual guy from Victorious, his name is Matt Bennett, and he has a TikTok account, and if you wanted to pretend to be him, you could at least make your name on TikTok Matt Bennett. I think that would make people believe you a lot more if you really wanted to trick people. But he didn't. He just he just kept his real name. Dustin Tyler. That's me. Please don't Google my name. So this dude's whole thing, apparently, is just like making shit up on TikTok and then hoping it goes viral because people are kind of like, whoa, you used to be the guy from Victorious? Or whoa, you used to date Selena Gomez? And now you'd rather kill yourself than date her again? That's crazy. It's also funny now that he says that he friend zoned Selena Gomez, because that would imply that like they are now friends, you know? And this is a pretty fucked up thing to say about your friend. Date Selena Gomez again, dude? Oh, that's disgusting, dude. That fucking, I hate that girl. I hate her. I would not touch her with a 10-foot pole. She's crazy. And she's my best friend. But again, it turns out that he did not friend zone her at all. Maybe he stranger zoned her. He friend zoned her so hard that they don't even know each other. And never did. This is kind of interesting to me because this is sort of playing off an existing trend on TikTok where people will post like that they have some sort of past or current relationship with a celebrity, like my uncle is Tom Cruise, or like my grandma is Sandra Bullock. And like TikToks like these will go viral because people are just like weirdly obsessed with stuff like that. The comments are always like, holy shit, I didn't know Tom Cruise had a family. I'm not really sure why people are so surprised about it. I understand just being like, yeah, I never really thought about like what Tom Cruise's cousin would be like before. But then again, why would you, you know? Like, I can't imagine why you'd ever be in like a Mission Impossible movie wondering like, I wonder who the guy who plays this character's cousin is. What's that guy like? What's he up to? So I guess it's just surprising to like see him. But it's not really surprising to find out that he does have a cousin. I don't think we're all under the impression that, like, Chris Pratt just showed up, just came about through natural causes. If you just search on TikTok, I think famous relative check, lots of videos will come up about being related to Charlie D'Amelio or Bob Saget. Okay, this guy is saying that his mom is Flo from Progressive. This is kind of like a popular thing on TikTok, and anytime like a big celebrity has some cousin post about them, it goes viral. But the downside to blowing up in this fashion is that it's kind of hard to keep this momentum going, you know? Most people don't have multiple famous relatives, so you can't just keep posting about like having more famous relatives. I mean, I guess if your cousin was Justin Bieber, you could just sort of keep filming him at every like family get together. But you are kind of just limited to one famous person, which is where I think this guy Dustin Tyler has it all figured out, because he doesn't just pick one celebrity to be related to. He'll lie about being related to anybody in a multitude of ways. Now, I should say that in this dude's profile, it does say jokes/satire. So he is covering his bases just in case someone tries to like sue him for whatever that would be, lying. Being weird. In case anybody tries to sue me for being a little bit strange, it's all jokes. Also, all of his TikToks about like dating famous women are about him friend zoning them. Or like him like dating them and being like, yeah, I dated like the most famous woman in the world. It was trash. Low-key, I'm a little bit out of her league. I mean, look at me, dude. I've got tattoos, and I live in a hallway. And he kind of tries to disguise it as sort of like self-deprecating, like, oh, what an idiot I am. I dated the most famous pop star in the world, and I was too good for her, and I broke her heart, ripped it to smithereens, and now I kind of regret it. Dope, I'm so stupid. Oopsie. If this is all of his content, then like his whole friend group must just be famous pop stars, right? If he's friend zoning all of these girls and they're just his friends now. Maybe this is the only way he knows how to make friends.
Put your back into it, tell us why, show us how. Look at where you came from, look at you now.
The caption for that one is, this is what I look like when I friend-zoned Ariana Grande. Okay, that one's not even trying to disguise it as like a self-deprecating joke. That one's just like, look at how ugly I was when I friend-zoned a literal pop music icon. And now look at how hot I am. I can't decide how I feel about this, because on one hand it's kind of creepy, but it also is kind of funny that he's just like pretending to be dating all of these famous people. I will say, very disrespectful to the guy from Victorious. The fact that he's using this guy's picture to be like his past ugly self and being like, but now don't worry guys, now I'm hot. I don't look like that ugly-ass dweeb anymore. And he's like showing a picture that's not even him, it's some other guy. And he's also kind of like lying about things that guy did too now. He just starts assigning all of this horrible shit to this guy that's not even him. Yeah, this is what I looked like back when I robbed that bank. Can you believe this is what I looked like back then? Damn, that was the same year I blew up that hospital too. Shit, I've really changed since then. My name is Matt Bennett, by the way, and I did all those things. People just walk away from those videos being like, wow, that guy who played that kid in Victorious is kind of an asshole. Also, one of the weirdest things about this is he also posts all of these TikToks on Instagram, and he's verified on Instagram, which seems very weird because literally all he does is pretend to be other people, and somehow that gets him verified. But he does, in fairness, also say jokes and satire in his Instagram description. So when Instagram verified him, what they're saying is, don't worry guys, this really is the guy who pretends to be the guy from Victorious. If you're wondering if this guy really is who he says he is really the guy that pretends to date Selena Gomez. They do get a little bit creepier though. This one is like that sound that's like, back in the day, me and you, baby, we used to have fun. And it says, my mind when I bump into Ariana Grande when she's with her husband with like a emoji. Imagine this guy that Ariana Grande's never met before bumping into her in public with her husband. Remember me? It's like, I've never seen you before in my life. Oh, the fun we used to have. If he keeps making TikToks like these are only going to get progressively more and more creepy the more like life changes Ariana Grande goes through. The next one's like me following Ariana Grande's daughter home from elementary school to tell her about all the good times me and her mom had. Me in court while Ariana Grande's trying to file a restraining order against me.
And if you wonder if I hate you, I do.
Imagine Ariana Grande's husband like just randomly stumbling across this TikTok. What the fuck? I don't even know this guy. Imagine if he sees all the other TikToks and like believes them because he doesn't know. Babe, who is this guy? And she's like, I have no idea. And he's like, bullshit. You're just saying that. You're lying to me. This guy friend zoned you and now he hates me. And she's like, no, I literally have no idea who that guy is. He's lying. You obviously do know him. He was on Victorious. That guy was not on Victorious. You are so full of shit. He's verified on Instagram, babe. Okay, that one just throws off the whole thing. I thought he wanted Ariana Grande back. And all the other TikToks, he's like, damn, I wish I never friend zoned her. And now he's saying I would never date her again. How do you reconcile those two? Oh, I wish I didn't friend zone Ariana Grande. I wish I killed her. These are getting a little creepy, kind of like bringing her husband into it. There's one comment under this TikTok that says, you're using her name a little too much, I think. And he commented under it, I'm obsessed with her. I'm not using her name too much. I'm obsessed with her. I think I'm using it an appropriate amount. How am I supposed to stop using her name if I can't stop thinking about her? How does that make any sense? Again, I get that this is all a bit, you know, it's all jokes and satire, but I do feel like he may be taking the bit a little bit too far and committing a little bit too hard to the bit now. He's gonna get arrested and be like, that video that I posted of me over Ariana Grande and her husband sleeping was a joke. I was making fun of someone who would do that. The knife in my hand was a goof. You wanna know the craziest thing about this? Is all this dude does is pretend to be other people and pretend to be related to other people. And he has 1.7 million followers on TikTok. You know John Legend? Like an actual famous person just started a TikTok. You know how many followers he has? He's got 1.6 million followers. He's got less followers than someone pretending to be related to somebody famous. Dustin Tyler has 4 times as many followers as the actual guy from Victorious. Matt Bennett has 400,000 followers, and a guy pretending to be him has 4 times more. It's like, how do you get more followers by making TikToks about being like related to somebody than you do by being that guy? He hasn't just pretended to date celebrities, he also has pretended to be Keanu Reeves' son.
People, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
And a lot of them have this kind of theme where like people and like potential girlfriends only like him because he's Keanu Reeves' son. And I just think it's kind of funny that in this fictional world where he can make up anything, he picks such a sad reality for himself. He picks these worlds where like he turned away the love of his life, Ariana Grande, and now he's bitter and he despises her husband. And he picks this world where Keanu Reeves is his dad, but like he can't really be sure if anyone actually likes him for him because everyone's just so obsessed with Keanu Reeves. He's turning his life into a tragedy. He's made a tragedy of himself. Also, I think it's kind of funny that in this scenario, it seems like the she that this video is talking about would be Ariana Grande. You know how Ariana Grande is obsessed with Keanu Reeves and that's a thing about her?
Screaming, crying.
Also, I want to know where he's making these TikToks. He's always either like in a hallway or in a storage closet. I feel like I'm way more interested than his life than like whatever fantasy land he's coming up with. I feel like he's making these at work. Whatever job this guy works, I must be the most boring job in the world. I get daydreaming about like dating Ariana Grande or like having a famous parent, but then like daydreaming and fantasizing about like dating Selena Gomez, but it was trash. It's like you've gone through everything else there is to daydream about. And now all you have to daydream about is like, what if people only liked me because my dad was in the Matrix? Anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this creepy or normal? Is this creepy behavior or is this all in good fun? And it's just kind of like a silly guy being goofy and wacky. Let me know. Anyway, thank you so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Guys, live events are back and you're gonna be going back to them in style. You wanna know why? Because thanks to SeatGeek, you can save $20 using my code GREG on SeatGeek. If you don't know what SeatGeek is, it's basically an app for your butt. And what I mean by that is it helps get your butt in some dope-ass seat. SeatGeek is a ticketing app. It helps you get tickets in the easiest way possible. I've got the app on my phone. I've used it to get tickets to a variety of shows in the past, and I really like how it tells you whether or not you're getting a good deal on tickets. It basically color codes the seats and the tickets so you know whether you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Green means good, red means Stop! Whether it's concerts, baseball, basketball, football, etc., whatever you're into that has tickets, you can probably find it on SeatGeek. I personally am going to an Oliver Tree show in February, which I'm very excited about. Got the tickets on SeatGeek. It was super easy to do. And again, thanks to SeatGeek sponsoring this video, using the promo code GREG, you can get $20 off tickets from SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase if you use my code GREG, and make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out SeatGeek. Bye. This is Love on a Leash. I think it is the worst movie I have ever seen. Other movies I've watched on this channel have had their issues. Sure. They've had plot holes. They've had terrible pacing. They've had Noah Centineo. Yeah. But this movie, Love on a Leash, is just different. This movie fails in every possible category. This movie is bad at even being a movie. Look at the poster. You can probably tell what the movie is about just by looking at the poster. And yes, it is as bad as you think. This movie came out in 2011. It is about a woman falling in love with a dog. It's sort of like Beauty and the Beast. And you'd think, oh, it's not a beast, it's just a dog. So maybe he won't be as bad as the Beast. No, he's way worse than the Beast. You're gonna hate this dog by the time the movie is over. This movie has a lot of not great themes, so please be cautious while watching this movie. It's nothing like graphic. I'm not gonna show anything that would be like rated R, but just beware. Now, if you think I'm over exaggerating about how bad this movie is, let's just take the intro, for example, because this movie starts with utter silence. We get this opening montage with no music, no sound, just dog. And it lasts for a cool 1 minute and 12 seconds before we get any sort of dialogue, and that is because this movie has no soundtrack. And you might be thinking like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. Kind of like an avant-garde choice to intentionally make a film with no music throughout. And I don't think it was intentional, because there's definitely spots where there's supposed to be music. Also, in the opening credits, there is a composer credited. Wait, the composer's name is Peter Davison? Skeet! Can this motherfucker keep his hands out of anything? Try not ruining one movie, Pete Davidson. Okay, just kidding, but seriously, why is there a composer credited? Did they have a soundtrack composed for this movie and then just forget to put it in? Did Peter Davison take their money and then ghost them? And then putting him in the credits is like a slight dig at him? Oh yeah, you like the soundtrack in this movie? You like the ambiance that it adds? Thanks so much. Peter Davison did it. If you have a movie and you want to hire someone who you will pay thousands of dollars to only for them to run off to Greece with your wife, then hire Peter Davison. But enough talking about the soundtrack, because there is none. It's time to meet our protagonist, a horny dog named Alvin Flang.
Where are the ladies at?
Gross. In this opening montage, we see Alvin walking around the park a little bit, supposedly looking for girls.
Oh, here is one.
Being homophobic.
Hey, lay off, man. I'm not gay.
And then getting rejected by a girl.
Ugh, that's messed up. It's because I'm a dog, isn't it?
That she doesn't want to fuck you? Yeah, dude, I think it's because you're a dog. While recovering from this brutal rejection, Alvin goes over to a pond to sulk, and the pond starts talking to him.
Come back. Find a girl.
Girl?
If she only loves you, you may have a chance.
Find a girl? That's my specialty.
So as you might have noticed, this movie starts off with zero context whatsoever. We don't know who the fuck this dog is. We don't know why he has a human brain. We don't know where Peter Davison is and when he's gonna send over the finalized soundtrack for the movie. And the director just assumes that we, as the audience, have enough info to go off of to be on the dog's side here. Okay, first off, tell us why he's a dog. I'm not gonna root for this guy unless you tell me why he's cursed to be in a dog's body. There's obviously a reason, and I'm not just gonna start rooting for a horny, homophobic dog for no reason. But I guess I'm just kind of special like that. And you might think, oh, they're probably about to explain it, right? But no. It's like halfway into the movie before they finally tell you what the fuck is up with this dog and why he's a dog. Anyway, so now he's off to find a girl that's in love with him. And first off, can I just say, this movie came out in 2011, and
And they definitely had better cameras than this in 2011. This movie was clearly made on like a shoestring budget. This movie gives off the vibe that like all the actors are just the director's friend. This dog is just the director's dog. The dog is clearly not like a professionally trained dog actor. The dog just kind of does whatever, and then they add in human voiceover over it to kind of explain what the dog is thinking, which 9 times out of 10 does not match up with what the dog is doing. Okay, so he's on his quest. The pond has given him a mission. He can maybe change into a human if he finds a girl. This is the main mission of the movie. He's gotta find a girl and get her to fall in love. Just one quick question. How is he supposed to do that? That's gross. And even if he does somehow find a girl that's into dogs, do you have any idea how pissed off she's gonna be when he turns from a dog into a human? She's gonna be so mad. Anyway, he finds this girl named Lisa and he decides to get her attention by making himself look all dirty and beaten up, and she ends up taking him into her home. Lisa is introduced as kind of a traditional girl. She has a friend who's always trying to get attention from guys, and it doesn't matter what kind of guy she gets attention from. She's always going out and partying, but Lisa is different. Lisa is waiting for the right man to come along and sweep her off her feet. And this summer, the right man just might be a fucking dog. Next, we get to see Lisa at work. She works at a department store and she's helping this woman try on a dress.
Ma'am, I told you that dress was too small for you. No, it's because I'm sweaty.
Why do I feel like those sound effects weren't in the script? Why do I feel like the script didn't say woman tries on dress and farts in the camera? I feel like that wasn't written in. I feel like the actor didn't know that was gonna happen. Seems very mean. Seems especially mean when you remember that the person who edited the sound in this movie literally didn't do anything else. He didn't add in music, that's for sure. He was just like, this woman's big butt makes fart noises, and then he went home.
Miss, I'm sorry. This dress is too tight for you. I can't sell it to you.
What? Okay, I feel like they want to make Lisa seem like the reasonable one here. Like the lady is being totally unreasonable. But this is kind of fucked up, right? To be like, no, I can't sell you this dress. Sorry. It doesn't fit you and it never will. So, sorry, maybe lose a few pounds before you come back into my store.
How about being my roommate? Huh?
Okay, you pay the rent and I'll sniff my butt.
Okay, wait. Is Alvin Flang a human trapped in a dog's body? Or is he just a dog? Because that was a very dog thing to say. They haven't explained anything yet. So in the lore of this movie, like, is this just how all dogs are? All dogs have these, like, human internal monologues and want to turn into humans so they can have romantic relationships with humans? Or is he a human trapped in a dog's body who just happens to like sniffing his butt? From there, Alvin and Lisa start to share some very fond memories. Like Lisa trying to name him Prince and him insisting that his name is Alvin Flang.
My name is Alvin Flang.
Well, okay, maybe something with a little more class.
Like Alvin Flang.
And Lisa joking that he should buy her a dress and him saying that he'd rather kill himself.
I can't afford it. Unless you're buying.
I'd rather kill myself.
What's funny about that line is that the thing that would make him want to kill himself isn't being cursed to live your entire life as a human trapped in a dog's body. It's buying a dress for a pretty girl. Over the course of the movie, there are a few other men that pursue Lisa romantically. There's Kyle, who she works with, and there's Frank, who kind of stalks her while she works. And because Lisa's having a hard time finding a husband, she decides, you know what, I'll go on a date with these guys. So she goes on a date with Frank, and on their first date, he ends up bringing his mom, who just grills her the entire time.
Lisa, my grandson is only 10 years old, and we're very anxious to find a stepmother for him. This child has been raised using the latest scientific technology in nutrition, education, and psychology.
What does that mean? This child was raised by robots. He needs another human in his life. He is cold, hollow, and violent. He needs to learn love from a human woman. Many women have tried and unfortunately met their demise.
He has an IQ of 170.
Yeah, no shit. We raised him using the latest technology. He's not just any regular iPad baby, okay? We use the newest iPad, so that makes him very smart.
And to be certain that he grows up to become president of the United States, we must ask a specific request to any prospective stepmother. She cannot have any children of her own.
What?
Furthermore,
in order
for her to not become pregnant, She must agree to have her tubes tied before the marriage.
Saying we need to make certain implies that they're already like pretty sure that the son is gonna be president. They just need to make sure all their ducks are in a row, which I guess is fair. They have been using the coolest, latest doodads. They raised this kid in a self-driving Tesla, baby. What is this logic? Is every president an only child? I don't even follow what she's saying with this. Maybe she doesn't want Lisa's attention divided between multiple children, but this is just such a weird plot development. This has nothing to do with what's going on in the movie. How is a man trapped in a dog's body the least interesting thing that's happening in this movie right now? So obviously this date doesn't go well, so she ends up going on a date with Kyle, where Kyle comes over, tells Lisa that he's gay, but he still wants to get married because his family will disown him if he doesn't marry a woman, and he's very rich, so he can provide for her. All in all, Lisa is not having good luck with men, but this summer, she might have good luck with a fucking dog. What happens next in this movie is insane and very uncomfortable. After Kyle leaves, Lisa's just chilling, and her manager from the store comes in, very drunk, and tries to have his way with Lisa.
Lisa. Back off, she's mine!
Okay, dude, that's a pretty insane thing to say when a girl is getting assaulted, right?
You're fired!
I quit!
Now I'm the king of the castle.
This is such a weird moment to infuse like a comedic relief dog with the plot. This movie just got so dark, and the dog is like, guess I'm the only guy left around here now, huh? Guess I'm sort of king of the castle. Yeah, bro, I hate you. Ever thought about that? Ever thought about the fact that you suck ass so hard?
King of the castle! King of the castle that's also a dog and lives in a house that is green.
Why is he gay? Why is Kyle gay?
Sorry, that's what she's taking away from all this? Huh? Why is Kyle gay? Bro, there are more pressing issues right now. What is the writer of this movie doing? Anyway, she's completely broken down at this point. She ends up running outside into the rain, sitting down in the grass, crying with her dog, and she decides, you know what? That's it. No more men. Men are nothing but trouble. All I want is my dog.
From now on, no more men. I'm gonna stay with you. Only you. We'll live together forever.
Shebang!
I think that might be my favorite transition of all time. As a dog, he yells, shebang! So you'd think that as a human, he'd be standing there all proud of himself, maybe like, shebang! But he's just looking down at her with the blankest stare. Uh-oh. He doesn't look like he's got any thoughts behind those eyes. Maybe he was just a dog all along, and now he's a human with a dog brain. From here, the movie makes a super strange tonal shift from like a goofy comedy to like this really intense romance movie where they're in the rain. For some reason, Alvin, who now only goes by Prince for some reason, for the rest of the movie, they pretty much exclusively refer to him as Prince. He is not a goofy dog anymore. He's this like romantic man who's like, I just want to be your husband now. Let me love you. The guy who plays the human version of Prince isn't even the same guy that did the voice of the dog, and they act way different. He went from being like, hey, scratch my belly, babe, I'm trying to get laid, to like acting like Anakin Skywalker from Attack of the Clones.
I don't like Sam.
And I don't know about you guys, but I miss the old Prince. This one's probably not even horny all the time.
Don't be afraid. It's really me, your dog.
Don't be afraid. You have no reason to be afraid. It's me, your dog. If my dog did this, I would be fucking terrified. Hey, don't worry, it's me. The one who tries to hump your leg all the time, it's me. Don't worry, I'm a man, I'm a grown man now. And I still want to fuck your leg. So they're standing in the rain. Lisa is so confused that she passes out for like 3 seconds. She is not taking this well, but we do finally get an explanation as to why Prince was a dog.
In my past life, I was punished for being a cheating playboy. I was cursed to live as a dog.
Oh, so it's like a reincarnation thing. Finally, they explain this. At first, I thought that it was like in the same lifetime. Like he got cursed to be a dog in this lifetime. But no, it's a reincarnation thing. I am confused about the lore of the movie. Does that mean this could happen with any dog? Are all dogs like used to be people that fucked up in this life and now they're dogs? Or are some dogs maybe like a hamster that did really good in its life? Which I would imagine is probably a lot
lot of hamsters. I feel like it's pretty hard to fuck up as a hamster. I wouldn't think there's much expectations of a hamster, really. It's all about expectations.
Let me be your husband.
God, thanks for answering my prayer. Yeah, you're my husband.
What? Huh? Okay, so that's all it takes? She's like, yeah, I guess you were a pretty good dog who I met just weeks ago. Sure, you're my husband now. So they end up getting married. They decide to live together. They spend the night together, but that's when this movie goes completely off the rails. I thought this was like the main plot line. He found love, now he's a human forever. Nope, the curse is not broken, and you will not guess how this movie ends. The next day, Prince wakes up, and he's a dog again. So he goes back to the pond to find out why.
You lied to me. I'm still a dog.
You're just using her now.
So the magic pond is like, you were just using her to break the curse. And to be fair to Prince, like, yeah, no shit. He didn't want to be a dog anymore, so he did what you said to do to break the curse. They fell in love, dude. You can't be like, well, you only did that because I told you to. And it's like, yeah, you didn't really give him a choice, did you? So now the pond tells him that he'll only be a human when the sun is not shining. And in order to become a human full time, he has to be a real man and provide for his wife. This movie has very traditional views of what it means to be a man. What is this pond? What magic is this? Is this God? It kind of seems like she's a liar. She keeps adding on caveats to what he needs to do to become a human. She's like, okay, you found love, but you still don't have a joint bank account. So now you will be cursed to be a dog only every other day, except the last Tuesday of the month. This whole situation causes a lot of shenanigans to ensue. He's got to figure out how to make money. He's got to like meet Lisa's family, but he can only come out when the sun's not shining, otherwise he'll turn back into a dog like he does in this scene.
Dad, Prince just became a dog. Big deal. I'm Alvin Schwein. How stupid. What kind of idiot doesn't know how to swim? All right, grab on, you pizza-faced cinderblock.
Pizza-faced cinderblock? Dude, that's so mean. What the hell is up with this dog? Why is his dog persona so vastly different than his human persona? Every time he turns back into a dog, he's like, what, you never seen a man turn into a dog before? Fuck you, I'm Alvin Flame. Screw you and this ugly-ass broad. I'm out of here, dude. Okay. We're here. We're at the end of the movie. We have arrived. Do you want to know what happens? Prince, I guess, just can't seem to figure out this whole, like, providing for his wife thing, and to be fair, he is a dog most of the time. But he realizes, wait, maybe if I just die, I'll be reincarnated as a human. A pretty bold assumption, honestly. They don't explain why they would think that. It seems like he has absolutely no reason at all to think that's true. The pond never said that, and I'm pretty sure she's God. It seems like she makes the rules. But he turns into a dog, he runs off, and he gets hit by a car. Ah, the old Marmaduke special, ending the movie with a dead dog. And this summer, she might just find luck with a dead dog. And you know what's interesting about all this? Is that at one point in the movie, he actually does buy her that dress from earlier. So I guess the prophecy was kind of true in a way. He did buy her the dress, and he did kill himself. So then we flash forward to years later, the movie says, and Lisa is old as hell. It looks like maybe like 20, 30 years have passed. And Prince, who has been reincarnated and then lived his whole ass life, so he's now as old as he was when he died before, shows back up.
What took you so long to come back?
Lisa, it's better that you don't know.
He turned old. The love made him turn old. Or the magic or the pond made him turn old. I don't know. I don't understand any of the lore in this movie. One thing's for sure though, dude. Do not let this guy turn back into a dog now, because he'd still be like 80 years old. And that is too old for a dog.
I have a dog training business. And naturally, it's very successful.
I guess you could say I know what dogs like. And I know how to reward them. You see, they're all former sex criminals.
I live a very comfortable life, but...
Okay, weird flex. I'm actually really rich now, by the way. And that, folks, is the end of the movie. He kills himself, and that, apparently, outsmarts the pond. Moral of the story? It's pretty easy to outsmart a pawn. All right, well now it's time to talk about our sponsor, HelloFresh. This video has been sponsored by HelloFresh. With mine and Laura's busy schedules, HelloFresh makes our lives so much easier. We don't have to go out grocery shopping as much, we don't have to spend as much time meal prepping, and I'm constantly learning new things that up my personal cooking game. For example, today I was cooking these pork tacos and it had a fun little tip in there about how to warm up your tortillas in the microwave without like totally destroying them, which is really nice. You can enjoy the freshest flavors of fall with HelloFresh because every recipe includes ripe, just picked produce that travels from the farm to your door in less than a week. HelloFresh can adapt to just about any lifestyle. They have veggie, pescatarian, fit and wholesome meals so you can stick to your goals. And they even have a line of kid-friendly recipes which they say are picky eater proof. So if you have a kid or you just, you know, have a less adventurous appetite, but still want to cook fresh meals, then that seems huge, honestly. And the fact that it's 72% cheaper than dining out or grocery shopping makes it a very economical decision. So if you want to check out HelloFresh, then head on over to HelloFresh.com and use my code TrulyGreg16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com, TrulyGreg16 for 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and for sending me delicious food all the time. And thank you to you guys for checking out HelloFresh. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. Greg is what I call my fans here on YouTube. And to join Greg, all you have to do is subscribe and turn on my notifications. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. What's up, Greg, and welcome back to another episode of But Dads Are Back.
You are not the father.
Yay! That's right, this is another installment of everybody's favorite series where I look at really strange ads for mobile games. There's this one that seemed to go viral on Twitter a couple days ago that like everybody's been tagging me in, so I figure, you know what, I might as well bring back the series for an episode to talk about it. This video has 300,000 likes and 8 million views on Twitter, and guess what? I've got beef with them. I have a pretty significant beef with these ads, and I'll explain why, but first, let's just go ahead and watch the ad that everybody's been tagging me in. To be fair, I did have to watch this multiple times for it to make sense to me, so I'm gonna walk you through it. That way, nobody gets lost along the way. So the ad starts out with very little context. It's a woman in a wedding dress, she's crying, and she's taking a taxi home, only to find out that her house has burnt down. Right away, so much backstory that I feel like I'm missing. The first time I watched this, I'm like, are we in the middle of an ad right now? Is this the beginning of the ad? Am I supposed to have watched other ads before this? But rest assured, I've watched a bunch of other ads for this game, and there is no context to be found. There is no explanation, so you just have to accept that this woman is having a very bad day. Then she gets a call from her grandma, and it looks like her grandma comes over to like comfort her for whatever happened at the wedding. I don't know if her fiance like stood her up or died, or if she stood him up or died. While she's being comforted, it also looks like she's holding a picture of herself from the wedding. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's supposed to be the grandma's wedding photos. And she's showing her granddaughter like, look at how happy I was at my wedding. Aw, your fiance stood you up and died at your wedding? Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. Look how happy I was at my wedding though. Look at all these pictures. See how I'm smiling at all of them? The reason I'm smiling is because my husband was present at the wedding and alive at the wedding as well. I wasn't marrying a present corpse. He was also alive. Does that make you feel better? Are my happy memories making you feel better? Why not? Then I guess to further comfort her, the grandma gives her a house, which I guess would be a nice gift, but the house is in like terrible condition. The grandma just gives her the keys to this like dilapidated shack. I guess it's big, but is that even a nice gift for someone who just went through like a horrible breakup? Hey, so I know that you're really sad that the person you love the most in your life stood you up at your wedding and doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, but you know what would make you feel better? A really big empty house. A house so big that it could be full of like some little kids running around or a little husband running around, but instead it's just big and empty. Does that make you feel better? Why not? Plus on top of that, with how like out of repair this house is, this just seems like a huge burden. I mean, I hope it'll be nice when it's done because it is pretty big, but like, this just seems like so much work. You know, it actually doesn't even look like it's in that much better condition than her original house. Well, sweetie, we know that you really miss your house because it burnt down and that was like the worst day of your life. So we wanted to make you feel better. So as a community, we all pitched in and raised enough money to buy you a second burnt down house. Go on, get in there.
So by now the ad is about halfway done, and if you're wondering like, wait, what even is this game? I don't understand how this is an ad for the game, and what is going on? You're not alone. But luckily they take a pause from the story real quick to show us some actual gameplay from the game. And it's just like a home improvement game, like a gardening and fixer-uppy game. In fact, you might notice that it has kind of like a similar vibe to Lily's Garden, which I talked about like, I don't even know how long ago, like a year ago? A year and a half? If you don't remember, Lily's Garden were the absurdly inappropriate ads for a gardening game. They had all sorts of fun ads, like Lily's private time sitting on the washer, Lily pretending that she's pregnant so that her boyfriend will leave her. All sorts of wacky scenarios that they used to market this game that, as far as I could tell, was just about gardening. So hold the absolute F up, Merge Mansion, which is the name of this game. I don't know if I've said it yet. So hold up, Merge Mansion. You think you can just steal Lily's Garden's thing? I'm sorry, but I'm not going to allow this copycat behavior, okay? Sure, I didn't like Lily's Garden ads at the time, or even now. And they also tried to start beef with me by putting my little Nutcracker guy in their commercials next to a dumpster. So really, I shouldn't be defending them at all. But you know what, Merge Mansion? Stop it. It's also just like so over the top for a game about just like home improvement. Is all of this context and backstory necessary? Would this be important to me if I downloaded the game? Would I use this information at all? So I've got an empty spot in my garden. I can either plant a tree or build a statue. Keeping in mind that my fiance did either die or stand me up on my wedding day, I think the choice is actually pretty clear. I'm going back to therapy. Okay, so then the ad takes a drastic turn. What the hell did Grandma do? Huh? It's not clear what they're arresting her for. And they never explain it either, so I'm not sure if it's just like another thing that you're just gonna have to accept you don't know the answer to, like what happened to her fiance and how did her house start on fire? Or maybe it has something to do with the fiance and the house. I don't know. Did she burn down the house? Did she burn down the fiance? I don't know. And there you go, that's the whole ad. He is alive. Oh, rats, Merge Mansion. Just when I think I figured out some of the context of this ad, you go and pull the rug right out from under me. What the fuck does that mean? So, who is alive, first of all? The fiance? I'm going to have to assume that's who they're talking about, which makes me think that I might have been right about them all thinking the fiance died? Is that why the wedding was canceled? And if so, how did they think that he died? How did they think that he died but never saw him be dead? Did he just not show up to the wedding and everyone was like, damn, he must be dead? That's the only reason a groom has never not showed up to a wedding, because he died. So, that sucks. Maybe at first they thought the fiance stood her up at the wedding, but then when she got home to where she and the fiance lived together, the house is burned down. So then they're like, oh shit, he didn't just stand her up. He stood life up. He stood up the rest of his life. Now that's all interesting enough, right? That was a very strange ad, I think we can all agree. But if you scroll down in this Twitter thread, apparently there are other endings to this ad. There are like slight alternate endings that apparently other people have seen. So here's one of them. Instead of saying he is alive, her hand says, I planned this. Which I feel like if we're talking about the whole like fiance fake death thing, like almost means the exact same thing. There's also an alternate ending that has her saying you're next on the hand. I mean, all sort of just alluding to the same fact that the grandma did something nefarious and that's why the fiance disappeared, or, you know, she did something wild and wacky and now she's going to jail. I can't wrap my head around why they made these alternate endings. Are they like targeting the different ads to different groups of people? Like this really small change will have a different appeal to different demographics? Okay, so we're thinking that You're Next will go to the Gen Zers. But for the older crowd, like the baby boomers, we're thinking I planned this on her hand. Because old people really like planning. After doing a little bit of detective work on YouTube, I was able to find like, I guess the production company or studio or something that makes these ads. Okay, so that ad is about having a threesome. Does the game, I just want to know, does the game have anything to do with these ads? This home improvement game? I can't imagine it does. Okay, so now I'm out in the garden and here's a bush. What do I want to do here? I can either water bush, cut bush. Have sex with 2 people hiding in bush. It's interesting that this is like the studio that makes these ads because they have a little description. Merge Mansion, a hit game from Metacore, needed 3 different ads full of warmth, humor, and drama. Warmth, humor, and drama. The simple warmth of finding out your fiance died and that your house burnt down and that your grandma had something to do with it all. They wanted to make films that are distinctive, surprising, and interesting from the first second. Distinctive? Try telling that to Lily's Garden, dude. I'm actually in love with this Twitter thread though, because once this tweet started picking up traction and a bunch of people started seeing it, everybody started replying with weird ads that they've seen. And yeah, there's some weird ass ads out there. I haven't done this series in a while, and it turns out that developers have been going buck wild, dude. That's all I can say. Look at this. Wow. Dude, what a brutal kick. Oh my god. The sound effect and everything? I know that this is a common theme for all of these game ads, but I couldn't even wager a guess as to what this game is about. They're like stranded on an island, maybe? Like a desert island, but also this dude is like doing a little stripper pole dance for this girl. It's this fun new game where a group of people get stranded on a desert island and they have to start a new society, and instead of implementing money as currency, they implement pole dancing and lap dances, weirdly enough, as currency. And instead of jail, you just get punted. This next ad is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. And there's no way you'll believe me unless I just play it, so here you go. Dude, what is this? Stinky fart dragon game? Dragonscapes.adventure. What the hell? What is this? The dragon farts once and the girl laughs and she's like, oh, you like that? You kind of like when I fart? And the girl's like, yeah, I guess it's kind of silly. It's kind of like funny in an immature type of way. And the dragon's like, oh, okay. Well, how about I fart so hard that I break your spine? You like my farts, huh? How about I fucking kill you? Wait, is this the same girl? Dude, it is! Wait, okay, so this ad had nothing to do with dragons, but this is clearly the same girl. She's got the same outfit and everything. Okay, maybe this game doesn't have anything to do with pole dancing or dragons. Is it just about punting this girl? Sending her flying? Okay, so the main object of this game is to wait until this girl's having a good time, see how she's dancing and having fun, or she like thinks that the dragon's fart is kind of funny. Wait until she's having fun, and then you just fucking send her. Oh, wait. In the very last frame, it looks like now she's on an island by herself. So is this like the backstory for how she gets stranded on Stripper Pole Island? She was just having a good time washing her dragon and then she got like farted onto a deserted island? Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Is this even a real game? Wow, that game looks pretty cringe. That game looks so weird. Who would download that? I mean, what do? You're in like colonial times and you form an army of dudes wearing only boxer briefs that can like form together into these sick big weapons, and then you like fight off these other armies? That's crazy. Crazy bad. That looks like a bad game. What is this game even called? Something dumb, probably. What is it? Guns of Glory? That's crazy, man. I would never want to even look at a game like that now that I know the name of it. Oh, look, this looks like one of those like episode type games, like a choose your adventure type thing. She says my fantasy ... and I guess you get to pick. Her 2 options are Spank Me Master or Spank My Ass Master. Is there a difference? Spank my ass, master. Now spank me, master. Anyways, guys, I think that's enough badads for now. Now it's time for a good ad. Thanks to our sponsor, Sleeper. You guys, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Sleeper. Sleeper is a fantasy sports platform. It's an app that's available on the App Store and the Google Play Store, but it's not just any fantasy platform, it's the best fantasy platform for all of your fantasy football, basketball, and for gamers like me, it's even got esports. The reason I think Sleeper is the best fantasy platform out there is because they've got personality, dude. I mean, look at this app. It's got a sleek, modern design. It's got a beautiful UI, very clean, laid out just right. They've got all the features you're used to in fantasy apps and more. They've got social features like voice and text chat, which means leagues that use Sleeper
have more fun. They chat more, they react to moves that happen all season long, and it all comes with 0 ads. If you don't have a group of friends to play with, that's fine, because Sleeper just released a matchmaking feature that will help you find the league that's right for you. So if you and your friends want to take your fantasy sports league to the next level, then download Sleeper in the App Store or Google Play. The link will be in the description. Thank you to Sleeper for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out Sleeper.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. We're basically the fastest growing army on YouTube. Please do not look that up, but it is true. All right, well, thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
This video is over now. Go find something else to watch, or just watch this video. I know we had a lot of fun, but you can't stay on this end screen forever. This video is over now. So why are you still watching this?
What's up, Greg, and welcome back to another episode of Boomers Getting Fooled by AI on Facebook. Gang, there is an epidemic going on right now. While we all grew up with our parents telling us not to believe everything we read online, it is now time for us to return the favor. It is time for us to warn them that 90% of the content they see on Facebook is not real. All this started for me when I got this image on my timeline. Now, to the average person, this might look like your average great photograph. After all, dogs do this sort of thing all the time. But being the internet sleuth that I am, I was a little bit skeptical. For one, what are the dogs doing right here? Like, what is that? Are they chewing up some kind of pillow or animal carcass or something? Hey guys, my 6 golden retrievers paused in the middle of tearing apart a deer carcass to pose like this, completely unprompted. I gotta admit, this is a pretty great photograph, but also I am very scared. I'm worried they're performing some kind of ritual. So this image doesn't seem right with me, but nobody else in the comments seemed to notice it was weird looking, so maybe I'm just crazy. Connie said, absolutely gorgeous. And then someone replied to that and said, you looking good in your picture. And a great comment. Whoa, dude. What? What a weird time to shoot your shot, dude. That was so out of the blue. Yeah, and actually, you know what's hotter than those dogs? You. And your comment. Hotter than the dogs? There's other weird parts of this image, like this dog that's either sitting on another dog or melted into another dog, but it is by far not the worst image on this account. You know, they say some people's dogs look exactly like their owners, and I think this is a great and terrifying example of that. There's a mix of responses on this image. Somebody should call the cops. Absolutely love. Creepy. Okay. Kinda mean. Look, I think we can all agree it's a terrifying image, but that baby did not choose to be born half dog, okay? He was probably cursed by a witch. Please be nice to him, he has enough to deal with. Plus, you haven't even seen this full image. You'd be really creeped out if you saw that this dog actually has human feet and ass. As I began to click on these AI-generated photos on Facebook, I started to get recommended them more and more, to the point where now, when I go on Facebook, it's pretty much just AI-generated content. This is another account that I found that posts images like this. It always seems to be a child sculpting something very impressive out of trash. And the people in the comments just eat this stuff up, dude. Great work. Keep it up. Great talent. Nice one. Thanks. What do you mean, thanks? Did you ask the kid to build this? Oh, finally. The kid I hired to build me a car is done with it. I can't wait to drive it around. I am 2 feet tall and a caveman, so this is perfect for me. All of the images in this genre give off the vibe of like, oh, look at this poor kid. He probably lives in a rural African country. He's probably poor, doesn't have many resources. But despite all that, somehow he is an incredible sculptor. Somehow he's defied all logic and found 1 million cloves of garlic to recreate the Titanic with. Could you do us a favor, guys, and just toss him a like? Could you just do it or he'll cry? They're like baiting you into feeling bad for them and thinking they're cute so that you'll engage with the picture, obviously encouraging them. But I gotta say, honestly, this kid, I don't feel bad for him at all. This kid has so much garlic. This kid is like a garlic kingpin. You know this isn't all of his garlic either. He's probably got a garlic Lamborghini, a garlic mansion where he parks this garlic yacht. He's living better than me. This dude is the garlic Mr. Beast. Not to mention, he's way more defended against vampire attacks than any of us. Great work. Beautiful artwork. Where does he get all this garlic from? Okay, it is nice to see people questioning the validity of this image. Part of me does kind of think that they're not actually questioning whether the image is real or not. They just legitimately think that he got the garlic through nefarious means or something. I'm asking myself the same question, and garlic is expensive. They're turning on the kid. Thief! A garlic thief! This kid is stealing garlic from people who need it. Must have some pretty big pockets to steal all that garlic, young man. That must be why your arms are so long. You use them for sneaking and stealing. I'm Sam, and I made this from real wood. Great job, Sam. Totally normal house. Has all the features of a regular house. Nothing more and nothing less. Guys, toss Sam a like if you don't think his house is going to eat him. I'm trying to figure out what was happening here. How did the AI come up with this? Do you think the prompt was like kid standing in front of a little kid house? And the AI was like, little kid house, huh? Say no more, I know what that means. It's obviously a house with the soul of a small child imbued within it. It's beautiful and so well designed. Yeah, I mean, honestly, aside from the fact that there's no way to get in or out of the house, it's the most beautiful sentient house I've ever seen. I collected bananas to sculpt this bunny. And this person says, you know, you can eat them too. Those bananas you're using to sculpt the bunny, you might think that God just placed them here on Earth to sculpt with, but take off the outer peel and you'll be surprised. Now, I gotta say that usually I would agree with this person, but these bananas actually do not look edible. I don't know what's going on here, but these are not normal bananas. In fact, this whole thing kind of just looks like one mutated banana melted together. I don't even think this kid sculpted this. He just found a banana that already looked like a bunny. Wow, look at this kid. He sculpted Jesus sitting on a whale out of well, I'm not exactly sure what any of this is supposed to be. Are these diamonds? And then these are like, I don't know, these look like the containers that dishwasher pods come in. Very interesting material choices. Wow, look at this local impoverished child who made a Jesus sculpture out of only 1 million diamonds and other precious gems. Guys, toss him a like, he doesn't have much else. Made it with my own hands. And oh God, what a toll it took on this poor young child. He does not look so good, man. Made this with my own hands. And eyes. He took my fucking eyes! Now, all things considered, these images I've shown you so far are actually pretty tame, and the deeper and deeper you go into these accounts, the more insane they get. It's like they had a prompt that they used to generate the first few images, and then they just keep adding on to that prompt, making it longer and longer. But before I show you those images, I do want to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Opera. Opera is a browser that puts all default browsers to shame with its fun look and a ton of great features. And it's actually the browser I used to browse Facebook for this entire video, and let me just say, this thing browses Facebook like nobody's business. Just like AI images on Facebook, another thing ruining the usability of the internet is ads, plastered all over an article you're trying to read, trying to pry your attention away from what you're doing. I feel like I need blinders on sometimes when I'm using the internet. But Opera has an ad blocker built right into the browser. Just switch it on with one click, and suddenly web pages look so much nicer. Not to mention the fact that they also actually run smoother and faster with the ad blocker turned on. Like to listen to music while you're working? Who doesn't? I would be listening to music right now if I wasn't filming this video. That would be very distracting. Well, Opera has a music player built right into the sidebar of the browser, which works with Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, and more, so that you don't have to constantly be switching between apps. This makes me feel much more productive when I'm working to just have everything in one neat, tidy place. You also have the ability to take snapshots right within the app. You can add text, add stickers, turn it into a silly meme or a YouTube thumbnail. Then you can send them to friends using messengers like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Telegram, which are also built right into the sidebar of the browser. If you're working on the go, as I often do with my trusty laptop, you can switch on the battery saver with just one click, extending your browsing time by up to an hour. So if you want to check out Opera, it's totally free. Just use the link in my description to download Opera today. Thanks to Opera for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out Opera. Okay, like I was saying, the prompts just seem to keep getting longer and longer. It seems like one of the big tricks that these accounts use to get people to engage with them is by including Jesus or other Christianity symbols in their images. So this account at first just posted Jesus in the sand. This guy sculpted this gigantic Jesus thing. Everybody thinks it's beautiful. The caption is, "Why don't pictures like this ever trend?" Clearly baiting people to engage with it and like the picture. But then after Sand Jesus, I saw Sand Jesus on a log. Then I saw sand Jesus on a log on a guy. Then I saw sand Jesus on a log on 20 guys. Is there an AI that is also coming up with the prompts in the first place? Because like, who is coming up with these? These don't even seem like something a human being would come up with. Like in this one, why is sand Jesus holding a smaller sand Jesus? And why is he on like a runaway log? Like this guy is like, oh no, my sand Jesus on a log with another sand Jesus. It's getting away. Say what you want, but this is definitely my favorite part of the Bible. Another interesting thing about these pictures are the comments. Like all of the comments on the vast majority of these images is just amen, 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 amen. No questions, no concerns, just amen, 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 amen. Construction worker making Jesus using only a hammer. Amen, 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 amen. There's an entire genre on Facebook of AI generated images of Jesus made out of vegetables. And then show this on the screen with like a scary sound effect. Dun, dun. And you'll never guess what the comments are. Amen, 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 amen. On these images, you will not find a single comment questioning what is going on here. Has this always been a thing? I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. No one's questioning why these kids' hands are facing the wrong way. Why, if he is made out of vegetables, are his eyes so blue and lifelike? And obviously, I'm not trying to make fun of Christianity at all here. If anything, I think these pictures are kind of disrespectful to Christianity because they're just like using these fake, ridiculous images to bait people into engaging with their profile so that they make money. But you should already know by now, it gets worse. It gets way worse than vegetable Jesus, dude. You got crab Jesus. You got shrimp Jesus. And of course you have another shrimp Jesus. Amen, amen, amen. Who is this for? It's on like a legitimate Facebook account. This account has 117,000 followers. Who is meant to appreciate this image? Christian shrimp? Hey man, shrimps gotta get to heaven too. How else can they be saved from their shellfishness? I'm convinced that there was not a human running this account at all. I think this account was conceived of, created, and is currently run by an AI. There was never a human involved. And not only that, I'm also starting to suspect that the comments are also bots. There is no other explanation for the amount of engagement on these pictures, and like serious engagement. And also all the comments are like saying the same things, and they're all very generic. So it feels very bot-like. So if that is true, then technology has created a corner of the internet where an AI is interacting with another AI, and they both think the other one is a human. Does that not just feel wrong? Like, I kind of feel like a third wheel just being on this page. Learning that AIs interact with other AIs without humans watching at all feels like learning that, like, ghosts hunt other ghosts. Thought they were here to scare us. What the hell? And of course, the caption of Shrimp Jesus is, made it with my own hands. Do me a favor and destroy it with your own hands. How about that? Can you unmake it, please? Another popular thing for them to add into these images seems to be flight attendants. There was a lot of flight attendant-centric AI-generated images, oftentimes with Jesus as well. And I'm assuming that whatever this account started off posting was more tame than this, like it kind of made sense. The caption is beautiful cabin crew, Scarlett Johansson. So I don't know if it had something to do with Scarlett Johansson on a flight or something, and then the AI just kept changing the prompt over and over until it was this. Here's another one with the exact same caption. I like that a good amount of the comments on this one say good luck. Good luck, amen. Good luck, amen, man. I have no fucking clue what's going on here, but good luck or congrats? I don't know, man. It's crazy how much these accounts post. If I just scroll through here, you can see these accounts post literally hundreds, if not thousands of times a day. Just post after post of nonsensical images. What is this? What is this supposed to be? And it's like, why? Do they make money from this? I've scrolled a lot through these types of pages, and I've never seen like a sponsored post or anything. So it's not like they're doing ads for companies using the following that they've built with these pages. Because like, who would the ads even be targeted to? Christian shrimp? After doing some research, I found this video that this guy made called Make Money Posting AI Art on Facebook Using Free Tools, where he basically explains that you can sign up for Facebook's monetization program, and basically you get paid kind of like on YouTube based on how many views your image gets, and I think on Facebook it has something to do with how many likes. So some of these accounts might be making bank.
Most people think that clickbait is some shady, taboo, weird kind of topic, when in fact, All it is trying to get a click.
Yeah, guys, clickbait is not necessarily a bad thing, just as long as you're honest about what you're delivering. Anyway, let's go ahead and learn how to trick people into believing that fake images are real.
Utilizing good images, ad headlines, and articles to drive people to relevant content that actually does talk about what the image or ad said in the first place.
Yeah, but if the image is not real, then doesn't that make it impossible to deliver on the promise? Now, this guy does go on to say later in the video that you should make it clear when things are AI or not real. But after finding a bunch of these accounts, it doesn't seem like anyone using this method actually does that. I haven't seen one single image that has been like, by the way, this is AI and not real, so just saying now. Trick job. Here's a different Facebook group that posts like beautiful mansions that all seem like they're AI generated. No disclosure anywhere that these images aren't real. Like being in a coffee mug. Love it. Huh. Yeah, there is something about this image that just looks like being in a coffee mug. Very insightful. Thank you. Either way, if this keeps up and this type of AI content invades all the other parts of the internet, it is just going to become completely unusable. I think Facebook and like every other social media platform needs to start training an AI that can detect AI generated content, so that it can like put a badge over all of these images to be like, hey, these aren't real, just, you know. Because so many people are so keen to try to use this to make money or create content for them that, like, just imagine in a few years if every single tweet or TikTok is created by ChatGPT or Midjourney. That sounds like a nightmare. Also, AI uses images and videos on the internet to train itself. So if like most of the images and videos on the internet become AI generated, and a lot of them look as bad as the ones that we've seen, isn't the AI just gonna get worse and worse? If it thinks that that's what real life looks like, what is its bad replication of that gonna look like? After I watched that one video, I started looking through a bunch of other videos on how to make money using AI, and there's a bunch of other ones that I think people should know about. This dude's video is called I Got AI to Create My Facebook Ads in 10 Minutes. The first few ways that he shows are pretty tame. It's just like using AI to create product photos using an existing product that already exists. The AI is just being used to enhance the photo, like change the background. But this next one is crazy.
We'll drop our product URL in here. Type in our target audience, which is females aged 18 to 45, and then we can hit next, and then it generated 2 ad copy examples that we can use.
So he just gave this service the product description that he's trying to advertise. It came up with a script for him, and now it's going to use AI to have this random woman lip sync the AI generated dialogue.
Spa day, meet the mocktail wash, my intimate savior and relaxation partner.
I don't know who this woman is. I assume that she must have like licensed her likeness to this service. I hope she did. But even still, I feel like you have to be super careful as an actor if you're gonna be licensing your likeness to a service like this, because you could end up advertising anything, and that's kind of terrifying. Okay, here's another tutorial about a similar method.
Today, I'm gonna show you how to make ads like this or this completely with AI, and what I'm about to show you is scary.
It's crazy to acknowledge how scary a tool is, but then your first thought is like, well, how can I make money off of this? Top 10 scariest ways to make money. Number 1, fake AI ads. Let me go ahead and show you how to make them. What you're gonna wanna do is go to this website, and then click on new project. So he shows this ad for his website that sells licorice, which has gotta be like the most whimsical business idea I've ever heard of. But he reveals after the ad is done playing that like half of the people in this ad were AI. Or at least like the video was real, but their lips were AI and the dialogue was AI.
Some of the creators in this ad are AI.
Hey, entrepreneurs, have you ever wondered why testimonials like this work so well? How, like, it's because people assume that the people on their screen are real people talking about a product that they genuinely enjoy, thus giving the product more credibility and maybe generating fake videos of fake people endorsing your product who have never experienced your product because computers cannot eat licorice is maybe a little bit unethical? I'm kind of starting to think that this guy doesn't care, and that he thinks that we're all dumb.
When we are speaking to people on the newsfeed, they are in their dumbest, most stupidest, dumbest state.
Don't worry if you feel bad lying to people, guys. They're actually really dumb, so it's okay. Obviously, clickbait and scams and fake product testimonials have always existed and will always exist. It just sucks that it seems like it's becoming so much more accessible and a whole new generation of business owners are choosing to adopt the practice. AI is a really broad term, and in most cases it's a tool. And I've seen like artists use AI as a tool to improve their workflow, not just like using it to type in a prompt and use the result as an end product, but like use it like you would use any other tool in Photoshop. So if it's making artists' lives easier, I think that's one thing, but to use it to trick people or create the most bland or disturbing content I've ever seen on Facebook is super disappointing. And I'll be the first person to admit, like, it is cool that this technology exists. It's cool that computers can even generate such realistic, albeit horrifying images in the first place. But can we not just pause for a second to think about how doing stuff like this is gonna make nobody trust anything anymore? Or at the very least, the entire internet is just gonna become unusable because it's just gonna be bots interacting with other bots. Can someone make a movie like the movie Her, but it's actually just two robots falling in love and they both think that they're falling in love with a human? That's gonna be big with this new internet, dude. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. Greg is what I call my subscribers. So if you're not Gregged up, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and absolutely obliterate the notification bell. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. What's up, Greg? If you've seen my video about the Disney Channel original movie Zombies, then you know I have some deeply troubling feelings about that movie. It's a very poorly made, weird, cobbled together metaphor for racism. And on top of that, a lot of the lore surrounding the zombies doesn't make any sense. So I ended up walking away from that movie feeling like I had so many unanswered questions, which is why when I found out there are 2 more movies in this franchise, I was honestly thrilled. I could actually get some answers to my questions. They'll dive into the lore a little bit deeper. Then I watched the movie and realized that was a very dumb assumption to make. This movie does not answer any of the questions that you might have had about the first movie. In fact, it introduces a whole bunch of new lore that like is even more confusing and also kind of contradicts with the lore from the first movie. Now, all of that might lead you to believe that this movie is gonna be really bad, like even worse than the first movie. But honestly, this movie is not that bad. Also, it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so technically speaking, this is a perfect film. So strap in and get ready, because I don't know if you've ever seen a technically perfect film before, but this is what one looks like. The movie starts off right away, changing the lore that we all know.
Welcome back to Seabrook, where belonging is everything.
It wasn't always this way. There was a time when we had to protect ourselves.
Right, we all remember that. In the first movie, you explained how the power plant blew up, zombies invaded the whole town and started killing and eating people. How could we forget?
Legend has it that when the first settlers came to Seabrook, they found wild beasts with sharp claws lurking in the forest.
Wait, so these beasts are different beasts? These are a different sect of beasts?
Which sparked an epic battle.
There was a war?
Seabrook settlers bravely fought off the monstrous attack and discovered a powerful energy source.
And that mysterious power source basically powered the entire town until that one fateful day when it blew up and created beasts. Different beasts. These are different beasts than the beasts we just saw. This is a very beast-heavy town.
The beasts were a distant memory.
Seabrook forgot monsters could be real.
So, hold on. You guys didn't think to mention this during the first movie? How could you tell us a history of Seabrook and neglect to mention the battle with mythical creatures that transpired? What else are you hiding from us? And what about this mysterious power source that runs the entire city? Don't you think during the 200 years since this happened, someone should have like looked into this, made it a non-mysterious power source? They were like, we'll call this beautiful land Seabrook. We'll build a school to teach our young, a hospital to treat our ill, and a power plant that might blow up. We do not know. Because of the events of the last movie, now all the zombies are allowed to commingle with the humans. It seems like things are really on the up and up.
It's hard to believe there was a time when people were afraid of zombies.
Crazy thing to say for someone who has for sure eaten his neighbors. Also, we saw what you did to people in the last movie, dude. It's not hard to believe at all. I'm still scared of you. Then we check in on Addison, who you may remember from the first movie by her platinum blonde hair that for some reason in this universe makes her some kind of sick, disgusting freak.
That's Cheer Captain Bucky. Bucky, my cousin. My cousin.
It's here at cheer camp we learned two things. First, that story about the werewolves is kind of a legend, and no one's really sure if it's true or not.
You've all heard the stories of bloodthirsty monsters who roam these woods, feasting on innocent cheerleaders.
And two, the younger cheerleaders and the older cheerleaders are not getting along.
This week, the veterans and the newbies will compete for the Cheer Camp Cup.
I feel like one of those things is gonna have a bigger impact on the plot.
Watch and learn, Snowball. Ah, yes, my hair. Still white, still well conditioned, and still drawing fire from the AC.
Okay, thank God she addressed it, dude. I know we were all thinking, what the fuck is wrong with her? You should shave your head, you look insane. We then get a song about how well everybody's getting along now. The cheerleaders are having fun at cheer camp, zombies are entering all facets of normal human life. Zed's dad has even been hired as the project manager to demolish the old power plant, which I'm sure will have little to no consequence in this story. The message of the song is undermined a little bit when the cheer captain Bucky launches an underclassman into the air with a high-powered water bazooka called the Buckzooka. Just a little bit of playful hazing, I guess, for the underclassmen. Oh, you want to be a cheerleader? How about some internal bleeding? That's hazing, baby. Nobody joins an organization that I've already joined and gets away with it. And while I do wish someone would rush this poor girl to the hospital, I do have to admit, the song does slap. The music in the first movie sucked in my opinion, but the production quality of not just the music, honestly, but the whole movie is way better in this one. Probably as a result of the success of the first movie. The first one was very popular. So they were like, look, this next movie, you know, it's not gonna make any sense, but it's gonna look fantastic. The lighting on that girl as she flies through the air with 12 broken ribs is gonna be so good.
I wish that I could call. I hope you get my letter.
Addison is hoping that Zed will write to her while she's at cheer camp. They have a bit of a love connection going on, as you'll remember from the first movie, but Addison never will get those letters because the older cheerleaders are shredding them and turning them into pom-poms for the underclassmen to use. Addison, I hate to say it, I don't think these cheerleaders are teaming up to make progress with you. I think they're conspiring to ruin your life. On the way home from cheer camp, love is in the air. Cheerleaders are asking each other to prawn.
Yes! I got invited to prawn!
Which is Seabrook's version of prom. Their mascot is like a shrimp or something, so I guess that's why it's called that. And for the first time this year, zombies are allowed to go to prawn. Bree is actually hoping that Bonzo will ask her to prawn.
Getting invited to prawn sounds great, but Bonzo won't even look at me.
Meanwhile, Bonzo is locked in on her, carving her face into a threatening-looking apple. And Addison gets a surprise of her very own because Zed has devised a very intricate way of asking her to be his date.
Addison, will you?
Dad!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Zed's not supposed to be there! He's supposed to be floating over there.
Dad!
Addison, help! I'm gonna fucking die! Addison! The bus crashes into a gated forest called the Forbidden Forest. And Addison goes running off to find Zed, but what she ends up finding are werewolves.
We're surrounded by werewolves.
So here's where the movie started to lose me a little bit, and I know this is a perfect film, so this is probably something wrong with me, but I feel like when I look at these werewolves, they're not werewolves. They're just teenagers living in the woods wearing dead animals. You might be thinking, okay, these are people who are gonna become werewolves at some point. No, these are what the werewolves look like. They even go out of their way to show a full moon in one of the shots to be like, no, this is as werewolf as they're gonna get. These are outdoor teens with dead animals on. That's what werewolves are. And that's just how it is for the entire movie. And on one hand, I guess I understand because like true to form werewolves would probably be super expensive to do and make look good. But also, you guys didn't have to make a movie about werewolves. That was your choice. You already had a whole universe with zombies in it. You didn't have to add another creature. Or you could have kept the movie exactly the same as it is and just not called them werewolves. You could have made up a new creature. Just called them outdoor teens. It would have made sense. But no, you had to drag werewolves into this. You said this movie will be about werewolves. It will be an integral part of the story. And our costume budget will be $4. A few scenes later, a werewolf sneaks into the town of Seabrook and finds a drawing of like an actual werewolf that Zed's little sister drew. And he takes it back to the other werewolves and they all start making fun of it.
Looks nothing like us, Wyatt.
It's like they're trying to gaslight us. Werewolves don't look like this. Werewolves never looked like this. You'd have to be some kind of dumb, uneducated zombie child to think that us wolf people bear any resemblance to those half wolf, half people. After word gets out that Addison had this encounter with the outdoor teens, the whole town is a mess.
Dad, everything is fine.
It's not fine. There are werewolves circling us right now, waiting to attack.
They jump to the conclusion that the werewolves want to attack them so bad. Addison leaves the interaction totally unscathed. They didn't do anything to her, but the whole town, even the zombies, are like, ooh, the werewolves want to kill us so bad. We better kill them first. And eat them. Typical zombies. So the leaders of the town decide to reinstate all emergency monster laws.
All anti-monster laws are reinstated.
This sets up one of the big conflicts in the movie because, as you know, Addison wants to go to prom with Zed, but one of these anti-monster laws is that zombies aren't allowed to go to prom anymore.
Zombies can't go to prom.
Ouch. And when I say one of them, I firmly believe that is the only emergency monster law. It's the only one they talk about in this entire movie. They let so much else slide in this movie, but that's the one thing they're like, no, we cannot have zombies at prom this year. Ouch. You'll see in a bit why that's so strange, but right now we gotta go check in with the werewolves because they're setting up a conflict of their own.
And you know we don't have much time. Our necklaces are almost out of power.
So the werewolves all wear this stone around their neck. It's called Moonstone, and it's sort of what gives them their power. I guess it's like some kind of mysterious power source or something. But it turns out that like 200 years ago, somebody or some group of people stole all of the Moonstone from them. So their reserves are running low and they're all gonna like die because they don't have their Moonstone. But some of the werewolves think that Addison fulfills a prophecy that the werewolves have about some white-haired lady who's gonna lead them to more Moonstone. This is the kind of lore that gets you a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Even if the girl is the great alpha.
A girl? The great alpha? I'll believe it when I see it.
Even if the girl is the great alpha, how do we find her?
I found this in the woods. It's hers.
We'll track her down with our keen sense of smell.
It says Seabrook High on it, so I thought we might just look there.
Kinda seems like they will use any excuse not to show the werewolves do anything werewolfy in this movie. All right, we've gotta find this girl. How would werewolves accomplish such a task? We could use our wolf noses. What? No, no, what is wrong with you? No! We could ask around? Yes! Also, for those of you wondering, yes, that is baby Ariel from Musical.ly. She used to be like the most followed person on Musical.ly. I always wondered what happened to her. Guess she lives in the woods now.
We find the girl, and if she's the great alpha, she'll tell us where the Moonstone is hidden.
We go in the morning.
We go tonight.
That's right. They're not gonna wait around. They have to go tonight. So they march out of the Forbidden Forest, down the streets, and into Seabrook High, singing about how they own the night. Then they open up a vent and crawl into it, and they wait until morning. So kind of seems like they didn't really need to go at night, did they? They all file into the vent so dejectedly. They're like, maybe we should have researched what this place is. I guess we don't know what a school is. They're not here at night. Imagine they accidentally went on like the last day of school before summer. A janitor finally comes in after 80 long days and finds 20 dead werewolves in a vent. That day at school, Bucky and Zed both decide to run for class president. Zed because he wants to re-allow monsters to go to prom, and Bucky, I don't know, he probably wants to like divert more of the school's funding towards an unmanned drone for the cheerleading team. But then, suddenly,
I will make Seabrook a place that embraces zombies and werewolves.
What? Where? Oh, there? What a lucky guess. How can you tell? People peering in through glass doors? Yep. Those teens live outdoors.
Man. Willa. We can't go to war with the whole town. We'll never find the Moonstone if they're on high alert.
Yeah, dog, I think that ship has sailed. You guys just charge them growling and gnashing your teeth. I think they're on high alert. Hey, all that stuff we did back there, that was we were just messing around. We're just a bunch of friendly teens. Don't look at her. Do not look at her.
Sorry. We werewolves so admire your town, and we just came here to join your school.
Okay, well, that's obviously not allowed. You guys were about to kill them, and also the emergency monster laws are in effect, and there's definitely one forbidding such things.
Technically, the Forbidden Forest is within the school district.
What?
So welcome to Seabrook.
What? Wow, guys. The emergency monster laws are working great. No, you did so good. You did such a good job. They were so close to killing you, and they only stopped because they found out Bonzo's not allowed to prawn. So, good rule. So just like that, the werewolves enroll at Seabrook High. And wait a minute. All of the werewolves look the same age. Are they all teenagers? Or are some of them like 80 years old? Are some of them babies? And how does that work in dog years? Are they going to classes? I don't even know if they know how to write. They're not gonna be able to find the moonstone. They're gonna be too busy failing all their classes. So Zed is worried about losing the class president election to Bucky, so he decides to go over the new untapped voter base, the werewolves.
Werewolves of the swing vote.
Hello, wolves. I'm Zed.
Do it like the zombies do.
Yeah, for some reason I feel like the werewolves aren't gonna care who becomes the class president. They don't know what a president is. They don't know what school is. They live in the woods and they wear moonstone, dude. You have no fucking clue.
Come on, we've got moves to bust.
Throughout this whole movie, Addison has her own thing going on too, where she just feels like she doesn't belong anywhere. That's right, despite being a bleach blonde cheerleader at a Disney Channel high school who was literally elected captain of the cheerleading team in this movie, she just doesn't fit in.
I don't feel like I belong anywhere, where.
Which makes her that much more susceptible when the werewolves come a-knocking. The werewolves are starting to get desperate, and given that they think that Addison is the great alpha, which again, she could not be, they bring her back to their cave and ask her for help.
I believe you're the great alpha. I believe you're a werewolf.
That's it. That's why she doesn't fit in. That's why she has ugly hair. It's because she's a different species. It finally makes sense. So they do a little dance, they do a little wardrobe change, and now she's a werewolf. Damn, that was a fast costume change. Did she know they were gonna rip her clothes off down there? This seems terrifying if she didn't. The rest of the gang gets worried when they realize Addison is gone with the zombies, so Zed shows up and he just fucking kills one of them. Holy shit, dude. And we never see that guy again. I think he's dead.
The explosion came from Seabrook Power.
Seabrook Power is the birthplace of zombies.
A little lime soda mixed with some mysterious energy, and then bam! Zombies.
Nice story, but it doesn't concern us.
Nice story about you and your unknown electricity fuel, but we've got our own problem. We're looking for a mysterious power source.
But it does concern you, Willa. That could be your moonstone, right?
Oh, shit, she's right. So for the rest of the movie, Addison is like pretending to be a werewolf. She shows up to school the next day and she's like, I'm a werewolf. I've always been a werewolf and I've always known I was a werewolf.
Addison, if you ever expect to be cheer captain...
Well, maybe I don't.
Maybe I'm not meant to be cheer captain. Maybe I'm meant to be eating gerbils. What do werewolves do? I actually don't know what they do. I know I am one, I just don't know what we do. Then we get the presidential debate between Zed and Bucky, and this is how all presidential debates should go.
I'm a real human. There's no danger in that. They're real monsters. Man. What if they turn back?
There should be singing. There should be choreography. One of the sides should be claiming that the other is a dangerous beast. And President Biden, how would you respond to that claim? He wants to eat me! He's trying to fucking eat me! The demolition of the power plant is imminent, so the werewolves rush there to stop the mayor from destroying all their moonstone. Via song? It does not go very well.
Arrest them!
Oh my god, dude, he said arrest them, not gas them.
Colloidal silver. That'll tame those beasts.
You know, for a government that just found out werewolves exist, they sure seem to have the exact chemical compound that would hurt them most. Colloidal silver shuts down their nervous system instantly. Just a hunch. Then Addison and the cheerleaders show up, and then Zed and the zombies show up, and now they're all singing, trying to convince the mayor to shut this thing down. Okay, at this point in the song, they're just having fun with it, man. They're just splashing around. I don't even think they're trying to convince the mayor anymore. He's not even in that part of the power plant. He's just standing alone in the main entrance now. You can hear music just vaguely echoing through the plant. Okay, I get it. I think I figured it out like 20 minutes ago, guys. Okay, so I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is they decide not to blow up the power plant.
Stop the detonation.
The bad news is the demolition guy accidentally does it anyway.
Well, shut it off.
I can't.
And also, Addison finds out she's actually not a werewolf.
Am I?
Bree's like, I don't know. They sort of just look like regular people to me. You look like a teenager who lives outside.
She's not a werewolf.
Oh, that's so embarrassing, dude. We all saw you act like a werewolf. You dressed up like one and everything, dude. No! Don't worry, this movie does end with them finding a way to access the Moonstone underground. They transport it to Prawn, and then they dance all night in the iridescent glow of this mysterious power source that is surely exposing them all to a dangerous dose of radiation. And then at the very end of the movie, they hint at another sequel, which seems to have something to do with aliens.
Weird.
And that is Zombies 2. And now it's time to talk about our sponsor. This video has been sponsored by... Guys, it's the season of giving, gathering, and with HelloFresh, it can be the season of saving. You can actually save money this holiday season with fresh, delicious recipes delivered straight to your door. It's cheaper than takeout, it's easier than grocery shopping, and the meals turn out so good. I like HelloFresh because I'm not really much of a chef. Okay, I don't really know how to cook well, but every time I cook HelloFresh, it ends up turning out great. Last night we had these Tex-Mex enchiladas. Didn't take too long to prepare. Turned out great. Honestly, best homemade enchiladas I've ever had, and I was the one who made them at home. I've got a lot going on. I've got a baby. I've got family visiting. It's a busy time of year. So sometimes it can feel impossible to get a good, nutritious homemade meal in, but not with HelloFresh. Can I let you in on a little secret? Some of their meals only take 15 minutes to prepare. How is that possible? Must be Santa. And guess what? HelloFresh is actually more than just dinners. They've got breakfast, they've got lunches, they've got snacks. So you can start skipping the grocery store for a variety of meals. HelloFresh is making life so much easier. So if you want to check out HelloFresh and for free breakfast for life, visit the link in the description or scan this QR code. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That is free breakfast for life with HelloFresh at my link. Again, this QR code. Don't use a different QR code, it won't work. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for checking out HelloFresh. All right, thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on my notifications to join Greg. We are the fastest growing army on YouTube. Do not look that up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. What's up, Greg? I've wanted to make a video about the High School Musical movies ever since I started making videos about DCOMs almost 5 years ago. More so as just an excuse to go back and watch them, because when I was a kid, I really liked these movies. And if you're a millennial, chances are you did too. And you were also too scared to admit that to any of your friends. I don't know why as an 11-year-old I felt the need to pretend that I didn't like a movie that was, you know, made for 11-year-olds. As if all my friends were gonna be like, High School Musical? I don't know, man. Sounds a little immature to me. I only watch war footage. I'm a very violent young man. Either way, something I did not realize as a kid is how low budget these movies were. The first movie was made on a budget of $4.2 million, which might sound like a lot, but Zombies 3, which is a newer DCOM, cost $40 million to make. In Zombies' defense, though, they needed the money. Those werewolf costumes looked pretty expensive. So instead of getting ready for the parties, he's making Troy run drills in the hotel gym.
Am I going left?
Yeah. He looks middle, you take it downtown.
Well, Troy, it's New Year's Eve. You know what that means. That's right, Dad. I might finally get my first kid.
Fake right! Take the ball downtown!
Troy's mom comes to get them for the party, and Troy asks if he can have one more basket with all of the confidence and swagger of a real high school jock.
Come on, one more.
One more? Just one more basket, please. Troy shows up to the teen party and is immediately yawning his face off. All right, hell yeah. This is clearly a popular jock who knows how to party. Somehow, despite being the two most bored people at the party, but to the Spotlight operator's credit, they actually do crush it. They both get up there and they're nervous at first, but then all of a sudden, Troy's voice, it's like it changes almost, actually. It's like his voice changes from his voice to like a professional singer's voice. Because that is what happens, actually.
Living in my own world. Now who'd have ever thought that?
I think this might be like the most well-known High School Musical trivia, but for the vast majority of the first High School Musical movie, it's not Zac Efron's voice singing. He had a voice double. His name is Drew Seeley, and he never appears on screen in the movies. He also apparently didn't even realize how big of a movie High School Musical was, and forgot that he had done the vocals for the movie until it came on the TV while he was working a shift at P.F. Chang's. Apparently, he tried to convince his coworkers that it was really him singing in the movie, and no one believed him. It's kind of funny because the whole point of the movie is kind of like, hey, basketball guys can sing too if they wanna. But not this basketball guy, actually. You don't want to hear this basketball guy's voice. So they crush the song, and then, actually, I don't remember this scene. Yeah, I don't know what happens here at all. Looks like the teacher is about to maybe give some kind of speech about today's sponsor? This video is sponsored by the Pokemon Company International. And they've sponsored this video because they want me to share some very exciting news with you. A Pokemon Day celebration is taking place in Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket right now. There's a new themed booster pack, Triumphant Light. And players can receive 3 booster packs for free just by logging in. And these booster packs, mind you, are guaranteed to contain at least 1 card of 4 diamond rarity or higher. By completing special missions, you can also obtain a unique display board, as well as Space-Time Smackdown packs, 500 trade tokens, 12-pack hourglasses, 24 Wonder Hourglasses, 24 Trade Hourglasses. Not to mention, at the end of March, ranked matches are coming to the game. So get your favorite decks ready and get ready to battle, baby. Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket is a free-to-start game, available right now for download on iOS or Android. So go to this link or click the link in the description to join now. Log in, have some fun, and enjoy the Pokemon Day celebration. And now back to Troy. But unbeknownst to him, there's a new student at East High.
I reviewed your impressive transcripts. I expect your light will shine very brightly here at East High.
I don't want to be the school's freaky genius girl again.
Freaky genius girl? What did you do at your last school? Troy notices that Gabriella is sitting in the back of their drama class, and not to be nitpicky, but this drama class scene lasts for 2 minutes, but the class happens in real time from start to finish in that 2 minutes. The bell rings. They sit down, the whole class gets detention, and then the bell rings again and they leave. How long is a school day at East High? Is it like 15 minutes? Troy shows Gabriella around, they catch up a little bit, and it is revealed that East High is having auditions for their winter musical pretty soon. Troy jokes that Gabriella should sign up because, you know, they sang together. And Gabriella's response is basically, fuck no.
I'll be signing up for anything for a while.
Yeah, I don't know why. I remembered this movie differently. I thought they both wanted to do the musical. Troy seems to maybe want to do it, and Gabriella's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I don't sing. I'm not a freaky genius girl, and I'm definitely not a freaky singer girl.
So, dude, you know that school musical thing?
Troy, the music in those shows isn't hip-hop, okay, or rock. It's like show music.
Yeah, and you guys would never do anything like sing show music, right? And then cut to them singing the hardest show music in this entire movie. That's the funny thing about this movie. Since it's a movie about a musical, there are several characters in this movie that are opposed to musicals. So it is a little jarring to see those characters seemingly completely unaware that they are literally singing and dancing right now. But on the other hand, I guess it would also be weird if they didn't sing when everyone else was. At the end, when they're all singing, we're all in this together, Corbin Blue's just standing around like, this is lame. There's 2 parts in the song though where Troy like stops rapping to sing from the heart about how he wants to do the musical.
She makes this feel so right. Should I go for it?
What do you mean she makes this feel so right? And should I go for it? Gabriella doesn't want to do the musical. It was your idea, and she said no. Don't drag her into this. This girl's making me crazy. No, you're crazy. You already were, and then you met a girl. That's what happened. Also, Zac Efron is but also, what is the third result there? Gabriella, San Diego Zoo's newest What? What is Gabriella at the San Diego Zoo? Ryan's like, oh, that's interesting. Look, it says here she's a dolphin. That's funny. Now that I think about it, I can't believe I never noticed. After basketball practice, it's time for Troy to go home and relax. Just kidding. It's time for more basketball.
Come on, Troy, fake left. Take the ball downtown.
Did you ever think about trying something new, but we're afraid of what your friends might think?
I mean, like going left? You're doing fine. Come on.
Troy's dad has one thing in his mind, and it is one basketball just bouncing around like the DVD logo. I want to see a movie about him and how hard his life must be. I do like that this movie keeps the tradition alive of Disney Channel movie characters being inexplicably rich. His dad is a high school basketball coach and they live in a mansion. What does the mom do? She an arms dealer? Also, he says something new, like going left.
I mean, like going left?
When in Get Your Head in the Game, Troy clearly says coach said to fake right and break left. He already said to do that. That's not new. That's what he already does. So, found a plot hole. Gone! Wow, where'd he go? Pay no attention to the fact that as he turns the corner, he probably fully saw Troy like... Meanwhile, Troy's dad is just standing there like, huh, that's weird. Could have sworn I saw basketball. Now, when we see the auditions, it becomes immediately clear that while Ryan and Sharpay are basically made out to be the villains of this movie because they're so overprotective of their theater department, they are completely in the right to do so. Not because their audition is really good, which it actually is, but because everyone else's is so bad.
It's hard to believe that I couldn't sneeze.
It seems that no one else in this entire school can even sing. It seems like they actually don't even have a concept of what music is. So like, yeah, I would actually be hoping I got the lead too. It is funny how they all act like they can't sing, and then anytime there's like an actual musical number as part of the movie, every member of the student body sings their heart out like the Renters do. What's going on there? So Troy shows up to audition, and then Gabriella shows up too. I guess, turns out she actually did want to audition. I don't know. I don't know if Troy threatened her or what, but she shows up. But they are too late to the actual audition, so they don't get to audition in time, but they stick around afterwards and just sing an audition anyway. And Miss Darbus, the director, hears them and decides, you know what, you guys get a call back. Understandably so. She's working with a very small talent pool. Here comes two people who know what a song is. She's got to hold on to that. Yeah, I don't remember this part being so pitchy, but this actually is Zac Efron's voice.
Here with you.
Yeah, this is very uncomfortable. Can we get Drew Seeley in here, please?
Start of something new. It's a Pears audition.
Saying it's a Pears audition kind of implies like I would audition without you if I could. I guess Troy meant what he said earlier to the webcam. He really does not care about Gabriella. He just wants to be in the musical.
Gabriella is not important.
You might make the mistake like I did when I watched this as a kid of thinking this is kind of like a Romeo and Juliet story about Troy and Gabriella. And it is a Romeo and Juliet story, but Gabriella is not Juliet. Juliet is just the musical. I can't help but feel like all that screaming at you and making you play basketball until your hands bleed has had some kind of negative effect on you. But all I want in life is for you to be happy. While playing basketball, I am still demanding that.
Thanks, Coach. Dad.
Let's stick with Coach unless you win, all right? Sharpay and Ryan try to throw another wrench into Troy and Gabriella's plans of attending the callbacks for the musical by getting the callbacks changed to the exact same time as not only Troy's championship basketball game, but also Gabriella's decathlon tournament. So the gang has to create a diversion. That way they can make all three events. So Gabriella and her genius friends first hack the school's power grid to turn off the lights at the basketball game. Then they create a don't sing and dance with them like you learned a valuable lesson. Get out. If Gabriella dropped dead right now, you would dance on her grave. And that's High School Musical 1. Many people lovingly remember Little Viking Boy from the first High School Musical movie. And while he rocketed to stardom in the wake of the first movie, his troubled life and fall from grace has been the subject of many concerned Twitter threads in the 19 years since. Do you know why I pulled you over today, sir? Huh? I said, do you know why I pulled you over? You're all over the road. Huh? All right, you want to play tough, asshole? That's fine. Huh? All right, step out of the vehicle, take off that helmet.
No, I can't take this off. It's a birth defect. It's part of my body.
Are you drunk?
I don't know, huh? Let's think about that. Does crack get you drunk? Let's think about that for a second. Let's all think. Does crack get you drunk?
After 15 DUIs and 3 counts of kidnapping exotic animals, Little Viking Boy was sentenced to life in prison. Authorities claim that it's here he became head of an extremist religious cult. His followers helped him escape in 2023, and his current whereabouts are unknown. Although he does occasionally post to Instagram to frantically proclaim the end is near or post a brand deal.
Every morning I wake up and I drink 6 bangs.
High School Musical premiered to 7.7 million viewers, a record that has only been broken a handful of times in the nearly 20 years since. But one of my favorite things to come out of the success of this movie, which I totally forgot about until I was making this video, was the live concert. I forgot about this until I went to the library to check out the DVDs for the 3 movies, and they happened to have a DVD of the recording of High School Musical in concert. This feels pretty unusual even to this day for a Disney Channel movie to put together a live touring concert featuring the actual cast of the movie, selling out arenas with audiences in the tens of thousands around the world. But it wasn't the whole cast, actually. Zac Efron couldn't be there because he had a commitment. He was filming Hairspray at the time. So who did they get to fill in for him?
Living in my own world, didn't understand.
It's Drew Seeley! Drew Seeley! I'm sure they advertised the fact that Zach wasn't going to be there and Drew would be in his place, but I have to imagine every concert, there were like 1 or 2 kids that were like, what the fuck? Zach looks different in person. With all the success of the first movie, they had to crank out a sequel fast, which they did, releasing High School Musical 2 in August of 2007. And you might think it would be impossible for them to catch lightning in a bottle twice, but oh baby did they. What time is it? Sequel time. One of the first things I noticed is that despite only a few months having passed from the events of the first movie, Troy looks drastically different. His hair is much darker, he has a different haircut so you can see his ears now, but most strikingly of all, his eyes have somehow become more blue.
You actually listening?
His eyes were already pretty blue in the first movie, but they're piercing in this film. It is scary. Get some contacts, you freak. The clock strikes 2:15 and the first banger of this movie commences. The class immediately erupts in celebration. They throw their papers in the air, start dancing around, and did Chad just kiss his teacher on the neck? Yeah, he just kissed Miss Darbus on the neck. That's too far. Luckily, it doesn't look like she cared. She's just vibing.
Good to be chilling out.
We finally get to hear Zac Efron actually sing in this song, and I hate to admit it, but he sounds pretty good. I'm sorry, Drew. Your services are no longer needed. Why does he do that? Now, the trouble in this movie begins because Troy wants to make some extra cash this summer. His parents are making him pay for college, despite them clearly being very wealthy, taking vacations at ski resorts, and living in a literal mansion.
But I gotta get hired first. Me too. I'm saving up for a car. So I can take that little hottie on a proper date.
You can't see it, but he's actually not talking about that girl in his grade. Miss Darbus is just standing right outside of frame. Why does he look so confused there? It's like it never occurred to him that T could be for Troy. He's like, oh, I actually thought it was a cross, but yeah, T for Troy. That's my name. Now that the school year's over and basketball season isn't starting back up again for months, it's time for, you guessed it, basketball practice. Fake right, Troy, fake left. Take the ball uptown for a fancy dance. This post-workout scene has a lot of gems, like Mr. Bolton's insanely long shorts. Dude is criminally insecure about his knees. Also, Troy about to drink from an entire gallon of milk from the fridge. And then he gets a phone call revealing that his ringtone is Get Your Head in the Game. Uh-oh. Is that a real song in this universe? So in the first movie, it seemed like Sharpay might have had a little crush on Troy, but in this movie, she's got a big crush on Troy. She's like, he's the most popular guy in school, and I think I'm the most popular girl in school. It's a match made in heaven. So she pulls some strings at her family's country club to get Troy a summer job there. The only catch is Troy requests to get like the entire school hired, and somehow that works. So Troy shows up because they are just kids. So some of the insane demands that their job is asking of them is just like, hey, can you show up to work on time and make sure you clock out at the end of your shift? And the entire student body of East High is like, we're in prison! They're not gonna pay us until we provide a service? What kind of dystopian universe is this? Mr. Fulton is 100% correct to be strict, by the way. Several times throughout this movie, he catches them doing things they're very clearly not supposed to be doing. If I was a basketball recruiter and I saw that championship game, I would be more concerned about come back and win the game like nothing happened. And then also how they all sang a song after that. That's what I would be concerned about. But yeah, I'm sure he played well too.
You know, between the two of us here, we pull a little weight over at the school.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I'm not really sure what prompts that reaction. They're like, you know, we could do a lot of great things for your future. We really want to help you, Troy. And he's like, I don't know. I'm getting the fuck out of here, guys. See ya. If that were Mr. Bolton there instead of Troy right now, he'd be barking like a dog.
Pay's dad let me play a few holes and then invited me to dinner with some U of A alumni.
Really?
Oh, wait, Troy's dad is fixing up a car. Look, he has other hobbies. Good for him. Granted, he is propping up the hood of the car with a basketball, and there's more basketball and hoops in the background. And I do kind of feel like if we could see what he's working on, there would just be 5 basketballs where the engine is supposed to be, but it's a step in the right direction. Troy's dad, surprisingly, is all for Troy going for the basketball scholarship.
Nothing wrong with keeping your eye on the prize.
And that's great. I totally agree with that. Troy should capitalize on these opportunities he's been given, but he should try to make his girlfriend and his friends a priority too. However, that is not what Troy does. This song is great, but tell me why at the end of the song, Ryan and Chad are wearing each other's clothes. Because they don't ever address that. It's such a confusing part of the movie. Why did they change clothes? When did they get naked? So I was confused about this, so I actually went looking and I found an article where the 2 actors explained what happened. The outfit swap was actually suggested by director Kenny Ortega. Quote, he had the on-the-fly idea at the last minute, Blue said. We had already done 1 take of that scene and he did the usual thinking gesture and said, switch outfits. Bro was cooking. Bro was, I don't know what he was cooking, but bro was cooking something.
Hey. We missed out on a fun night.
What? Troy, respectfully, I think you have a lot more to worry about than your golf swing. That's not what this song is about, is it? Guess it's kind of vague. Hell yeah, dude. You know, powerful lyrics aside, I actually have no clue what he's decided on at the end of this song. He's kind of just like, you can bet on me. I'm gonna end up on top. I got this. And it's like, what are you actually gonna do though? Are you gonna get Gabriella back? Are you gonna do the talent show? He's like, no, I was just gonna stand on top of this mountain for the rest of the summer, actually. No one can be mad at me up here. The end of this movie is messed up. Sharpay actually turns her act around. She previously got the Wildcats banned. God, it's gotten too bad. I gotta step in. Last song of this movie is called All for One. I don't know, I kind of feel like they lost a little bit of inspiration at the end here. Kind of feels like they forgot what moral they were working towards for the end of this one, and they were like, and we're all together in this one also. And the movie ends with Gabriella wooing several times while looking over at Troy for approval. And that's the end of the movie. And now I'm very excited to watch the 3rd movie. But before I do, there's something I need to address. I feel like there's something deeply wrong in these movies. And I feel like I'm finally starting to get a handle on it. These movies, like, they don't really feel like musicals. And it took me a while to figure out why. So to explain it to you, we're gonna have to go back to medieval Europe.
In a French town in 1518, some 400 people became inexplicably overcome by an urge to dance. They did so for weeks on end.
This dancing plague, as it was later coined, lasted for months and only ended when participants were either so exhausted that they collapsed or so exhausted that they were dead. Authorities tried to stop the dancing, even hiring musicians to play vigorously to try to help them get all the dancing out of their system. This, of course, made things much worse.
This event has baffled scientists and historians for years. But many believe it could be the result of a particular type of food poisoning.
Yeah, crops like rye can end up growing a type of fungus that basically makes you crazy.
Could it be that this is what's happening at East High?
In the High School Musical universe, the characters, they sing and they dance, and at first you might think this is just like any other musical. The characters aren't really spontaneously breaking into song, it's more an artistic depiction of how they're feeling.
But a closer look reveals something shocking.
Well, firstly, sometimes they definitely are actually singing, like at the karaoke party. Now, you might think that a moment like Get Your Head in the Game is totally different. You know, that song doesn't really exist within this universe. But what is Troy's ringtone in the 2nd movie?
But how could an entire school become poisoned by a rare fungus? This man, who convinced us he had relevant qualifications, believes it could have been a certain freaky genius girl.
It could be that by growing a fungus in a lab, Gabriella was able to manufacture a sort of singing and dancing craze to control Troy, who I'm pretty sure would have never done all of that stuff had he not been under some kind of drug-induced hysteria. After all, Troy is so cool and singing is for weirdos. So it could be the fungus, or maybe Gabriella's some kind of fucking witch. The High School Musical
bonus soundtrack. You love High School Musical hits like Get Your Head in the Game. Well, now's your chance to own the extended soundtrack. Like Coach Bolton's Crisis. What's up, guys? I'm 16. I'm the new player on the basketball team. I'm really excited to play. Yeah, Mr. Bolton, we know it's you. And Gabriella's on the news. A little boy drowned in the pool. Oh no. A little boy drowned in the pool. No. Where was the lifeguard? Having a picnic. And a preview of the finale song from High School Musical 3. We're all friends together with each other. We're all together at the end again, and we're friends. We're still friends. And classmates, we go to school together. We learned a lesson, and now we're gonna switch clothes.
Gift from the guy.
High School Musical 2 broke the premiere record that the first High School Musical had just set. Instead of 7 million viewers, this one had 17 million viewers. So of course, they had to make a third one. High School Musical 3, Senior Year. The only one in the franchise with a subtitle. Now, outside of the fact that they're all seniors in this movie, which I can tell by the title of the film, I actually know next to nothing about this one. I've never seen it. Yeah, I know I made it sound like I was a really big High School Musical fan, but by the time the third one came out, I was 14. And unlike the first two, this one came out in theaters. And as a freshman in high school, I was much too embarrassed to ask my friends if they would go see a High School Musical movie in theaters with me. So I decided it would be way less embarrassing if I waited until I was 30 years old to watch it for the first time in front of millions of people. And we're back at East High, baby. Zach's playing basketball. There's a dog in the crowd. Is this an Air Bud crossover? Zach's like, oh, my head's just not in the game tonight. Can we get in the sub? This gold lab comes in and just slam dunks it a couple times. The movie opens on the Wildcats with their backs against the wall. It's the championship game. They're behind, and there's only 16 minutes left. Whoa, Mr. Bolton rocking a middle part. That's new. Mr. Bolton gives a speech about how there's only 16 minutes left.
There's 16 minutes left.
And then they sing a song about how there's only 16 minutes left. Ooh, a song about there being 16 minutes left in a game. We're getting very specific with these songs. I think they're starting to run out of ideas. This is the last time to make Dad proud. If I don't, then he never will be. Hell yeah, he won the championship game. Again. I'm noticing right away that this movie is like much higher production value than the other two. I'm curious to see the budget on this bad boy, because this movie looks like they actually like lit it. The other two just kind of look like they set up cameras and started filming, but there's lights in this one. So now they're having like the biggest high school rager ever, and they expect us to believe that they're not insanely rich. I'm pretty sure this is in Troy's backyard.
Hey, Troy. Great house, bro. Your room is way cool.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
You were in my room?
Whoa. Yeah, I just took a picture.
Yeah, just took a picture of your room, man. He's a secret agent for the IRS. He's like, how did your family get so rich?
So, another top secret hiding place.
You're the second girl I've ever had up here.
Yeah, it is top secret. I couldn't even see it up there. Just looks like a regular tree to me. It's here we find out that while Troy is a shoo-in for the basketball team at U of A, Gabriella's already been accepted to Stanford. I sense a conflict in the movie. Troy's going to University of Albuquerque to play basketball, and Gabriella is going to learn how to create the singularity at Stanford. So they sing a song about cherishing the present moment. Did they like challenge themselves to make a song with no dancing in this one? They're like, what if we just sat for a whole song? Oop, now he's up. Oh, that was it. That was the whole dance. Nah, it doesn't work with this song.
Juilliard is considering 4 of you for 1 available scholarship. Sharpay Evans, Mr. Ryan Evans, Miss Kelsey Nielsen, and lastly, Mr. Troy Bolton.
What?
Julie.
What? Since when does that guy have a evil cackle? I mean, I was surprised too, but that guy threw his head back and squealed. Did he submit his name to Juilliard as some kind of evil plan to get him killed? They're trying to come up with some ideas for the spring musical, which I'm just now realizing they write every year. Like, they don't do a pre-existing musical. They write their own musical every year.
All of you will create it.
That's why in the first movie they call Kelsey the composer. She literally writes the musical. Isn't that crazy? But to get some ideas, Miss Darbus asks the seniors about their future.
Your future.
It's easy. It's U of A. Hoops all the way.
Yeah. Miss McKessie.
Is University of Albuquerque like a really good school for basketball? I feel like I've never heard of them before. All the basketball players are like, we gotta get to U of A, man. It seems like that's just like the closest college that has a basketball team. Meanwhile, Gabriella's going to Stanford, Sharpay's going to Juilliard, and they're like, I don't know, we can go play basketball down the street. For the record, the reason I've never heard of the University of Albuquerque is because it's a Catholic liberal arts school that actually closed in 1986. So I guess these characters live in some sort of alternate dimension where it stayed open and went on to become a basketball powerhouse.
Mr. Bolton. Mr. Bolton.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, he doesn't know if he wants to go to Juilliard or U of A. See, he really never did care about Gabriella. He just wants to sing. Somebody just let this kid sing. Just tell him it's okay.
Imagine having everything.
Jeez, that song started so abruptly. No intro, no build up. It's kind of scary. Oh, this is a look into some kind of strange alternate future where Troy chose neither basketball or Juilliard and became a stalker. I want that to be how this movie ends. Troy choosing between two incredible futures, and instead he just throws his life away. It's like, I can't decide. I don't fucking know.
Miss D said that there's only one scholarship. There's two of us.
Wait, they're doing this to compete for a scholarship? Not even just a place at Juilliard? If I know anything about these two, it's that they can both afford to go to Juilliard. Why do they need to take the scholarship away from somebody else?
Which one do you think I should wear?
Well, I've never been asked to a prom, but this almost sounds like an invitation.
Did she say she's never been asked to prom? What about last year? They were dating last year. Troy didn't want to go to prom with her. His dad was probably making him run basketball drills. The only place you're going, Troy, is downtown. With the ball. Make sure you bring the ball. Time for another song. About how much Troy and Gabriella love each other. There's already like two very sentimental songs between these two. They are really setting us up for heartbreak, I feel. And also just spending like an unnecessary amount of time being like, these two are in love, okay? Don't forget that they're in love. That way, when whatever happens, we're gonna all be sad, all right? So that way, when Troy picks U of A and Gabriella gets hit by a bus, it's gonna be sad. I think they're gonna end up going to the same college. They couldn't possibly end this entire series by being like, they didn't actually like each other that much. They're just gonna call it quits.
Where's our clothes? Yo, Rocket Man.
Why do I feel like they're about to haze these kids?
You know, we weren't just given these lockers. We had to earn them. Right.
Oh, they're definitely about to haze these kids. Now drink this entire bottle of Absolute. That'd be a crazy twist in this movie. Just a little hazing. Troy is not better than doing some hazing.
Oh, I thought I heard you. I was just making some snacks inside. Are you guys hungry?
Only if it's your brownies.
I've had them.
Bring those out here.
Could you take me after school to check out that tuxedo?
Tuxedo? For what?
For prom.
Oh, honey. If that's what you call an invitation, you'll be dancing with yourself.
He's like, okay. I wasn't inviting you. I'm gonna ask Miss Darbus. Then comes a song about getting ready for prom featuring, I think, the funniest moment in any of these movies.
I think this tux is too baggy, too tight, it makes me look weird.
Yeah, this movie's kind of funny, man. Makes me look weird.
Do I want classic or vintage or plaid?
I like that they're like, should I wear plaid or ruffles or a really old suit? And it's like, no, you should wear, just go to Men's Warehouse and ask for a prom tuxedo. Should I wear the ugliest thing that you've ever seen? No, just go. Just tell them you're going to prom and they'll just give you the most generic tux you've ever seen. This reminds me of when I was a senior in high school and I was getting ready to go for prom and I sang this song called It's Gonna Be the Night to Remember.